created everything. Look what a powerful being you are. You did these things, but now you're in a human body, you forget the power you have.
What you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing.
You're doing it.
Doing what?
Using your imagination.
Welcome to Metamystics, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today we are getting into some saucy, esoteric, mystical things, baby. Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. I've been ready.
Good. Because, and look, you know, we had said that we were going to do this episode for quite some time now. And there's a couple of things that we need to like get out in the open so that we understand the context in which we're trying to say these things.
Yeah, you had mentioned it actually. I think in the last episode you said something about this topic, and I was like, "Wait, what is that?" And then you mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to definitely get in." And I don't even remember what that thing was that you said, but I'm still very fascinated.
Oh yeah. It's pretty. All of this is very interesting. And now I do want to say that the church, Catholic Church in general, but mainly all of the Christian churches, will say that what we are talking about is heretical. Okay. Just so everybody knows, everybody, like, these people believe, not even believe, it's a narrative that they were pushing. Because I'm telling you, dude, once you do a little bit of research and find like how many of the Gnostic believers, or how many of the Gnostic societies that were genocided on behalf of the Christian church, it will blow you out of your seat. Like, number one, and we're going to get into a couple of them, but mainly the Cathars, right? Dude, holy shit, is that a rabbit hole to go down? I watched 3 documentaries on it last night. Like, that's how addicted to this shit I am. But like, watched 3 documentaries. I was like, there's no way this is true, right? But and so that's why I kept on watching back to back to back, and they're all basically saying the same story, and I was like, what? That is wild. Right. I mean, like, literal genocides of civilizations, brother.
Right.
Like,
and this was because they just didn't go with the narrative, right? Is that what being a heretic rather is? Just like not believing in the going narrative.
Yes, they believed in the Gnostic Jesus.
Okay.
Like, so people that believed in Gnosticism, you know, like from the Nag Hammadi and the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and shit like that, because they believed that and literally lived that way, by the way. Like, they weren't just all talk and preach, like, they lived up to it, right? Like, they were some of the most peaceful people ever, from what I read and from what I watched, that the Cathars were some of the most peaceful communities ever. And the Catholic Church didn't really like that. They saw that the influence was starting to, you know, maybe battle up against the amount of people that they had influence over. So they were like, hold up. Oh, no, we got to wipe these people out. And there's a famous quote, dude. Like, somebody said, oh, God, I don't even want to butcher it, but is along the lines of like, well, sir, how are we going to know who are the Cathars and who are the Catholics? You know, because they all dress the same. And basically, he said something along the lines of like, God will lead you in the right direction. So just kill he goes, kill all of them, and God will leave the righteous ones or some shit. Wow. And I was like, wow. And by the way, that wasn't just like, oh, that don't worry, that was just Rome. Don't worry, that was just that. No, dude. Like, literally, the Pope carried this out. 19 consecutive popes carried out this genocide of the Cathars.
Wow.
Popes were carrying out genocides because they feared the community going with the Gnostic teachings.
Wow.
I'm like,
holy
wow.
Shit,
all right. So I don't know. I'm somebody that's like, I don't know. Let's measure them by the fruits of their labor kind of thing. And that fruit be spoiled. Okay. But anyway, that's not to say anything against your today's regular Christians or anything like that. I'm talking about back in the day. That's how they were doing shit. Yeah. Right. And you know what? That's not taught in history books. I don't ever remember hearing about the Cathars.
Of course.
You know,
course.
like this is
Why
not
would you?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they tried to delete it from history. But look, that's and we're going to touch on that a little bit more later. But you asked a question, you know, before the show, and I was like, you know what, a lot of people probably don't know this. As far as it was probably a year ago that we read the Lost Gospel of Q, I think it's called, right?
Yep.
And that was said to be comprised of strictly Jesus sayings. Now, I will say this. So the Lost Gospel of Q is, this is what they, all right, the Q is said to be the main source of information. What a lot of, you know, biblical scholars will say, that there had to be a main source of information where Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the four main gospels of the Bible, they had to have gotten it from somewhere, because they realized that those books weren't written until long after Jesus' death, right? So, and they seemed to be pulling off of something, and they didn't know what. And so the Lost Gospel of Q, it basically, they kind of wrote it backwards in a sense of like, all right, let's find all of Jesus's sayings, and then let's kind of put in some Gnostic things. Let's put in some of this, put in some of that, and maybe we'll put our heads together and our minds together to figure out, you know, what the Lost Gospel could have been. It's a could have been if it was kind of situation. Not necessarily exact. There is no book of Q, at least not one that's been talked about. That was just like theoretical thing. Whereas the Gospel of Thomas that we're going to get into today is it was in the Nag Hammadi, right? Like it was in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. What was it, 1948, 1946,
1945, I believe.
Somewhere in there, right? They found it in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, and interestingly enough, the Dead Sea Scrolls were found just a couple years later. You know, and that's where a lot of Christians will say, see, they didn't change the Bible. They found this in the Dead Sea. And I was like, whoa, what a coincidental timing that it's literally a couple years after they find the Nag Hammadi.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I tend to question anything that was written and passed on to be like, hey, look, this is the answer. This is the truth, you know, and I'd say regardless of when it was written, you know, in my understanding, I feel like at any time people could be just writing shit down, you know, like that's just where I'm at.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting to see like what those people believed back then and how, you know, maybe it has evolved over time. Like that's kind of what I'm interested in because, you know, a lot of times, and that's why I love all the Gnostic stuff. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know it to be true or I know it to be false. Some people would say it's a known heresy, like it's a known heretical writing. And it's like, you know, that's like the Christian church going around and calling everybody pagan. Like the pagans didn't call themselves pagan. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, but to say that these writings are heretical, it's like, bro, you guys didn't even construct the Bible until all of the councils, all the different councils in the 300s, by the way. Right. So for you to say that literally these Gnostic writings, which are understood to be written in the first century or earlier, are you know, heretical. It's like, bro, they were written before the Bible was.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy whenever you look at it like that. So yeah, we're going to be getting into Gospel of Thomas. It's going to be an awesome show. I cannot wait. This is going to be so much fun.
Looking forward to it.
It's going to charge you up, baby girl.
All right. I need that. I need a little bit of that in my life. All right.
Yeah. Speaking of charging you up, for the live show, we're getting Psychic Cassandra Van Zant back on the show for the live show that's coming up here soon.
I feel like it's been way too long, to be honest with you.
Since March.
It's been a minute for sure. I'm looking forward to that.
It's been like fucking half a year. That's way too long for her.
Way too long. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I have a feeling a Lord Byron show is coming up soon too.
I imagine. Yeah. I actually just thought about that recently. I thought about him and I was like, yeah, I think it's been a minute.
Yeah. The way we view a lot of these people, like our regular guests that come on the show, we view them as extensions of like, dude, they're like co-hosts, honestly. Like, and same thing with Electro Nick, Lord Byron, you know, Cassandra, like, and countless others who we've had on multiple times. It's like, man, these are like our people. You know what I mean?
Yes, and they definitely know their shit in their particular field. You know, they definitely have a lot more experience in a lot of these things that we like to talk about. And so why not get them on as much as possible to kind of garner what we can, you know, because we know that they know their shit.
They do.
You know?
They do. And you know what's interesting about like how we just agree and understand that they know their shit is because there seems to be a bit of a what's the word? Oh, there's a word for it. Damn it. Resonation. Resonance. Right?
Resonance.
So there seems to be a resonance with a lot of this, you know, information that we kind of, whether it's just a show between us or a show whenever we have somebody else on, it always seems to be a very similar resonant kind of message. And to be honest, you know what they used to call resonance back in the day?
What's that?
Gnosis, sir.
Ah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So this is why the Gnostic Gospels, you know, the Nag Hammadi seems like you read it and you're like, damn, why does that? It doesn't even sound right. It feels right.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
Like, there's just something magical about it.
Mm-hmm.
But look, before we do that, I literally maybe 20 minutes before the show, I got done watching a video on Instagram, and I've heard it mentioned before. What's his name? Bill Donahue. Bill Donahue. Remember we covered Bill Donahue a few months back, and he was
breaking
kind
it
of
down, dude.
Breaking down the Bible like crazy, right? And he mentioned something that kind of, I guess, just went over my head. So there was somebody else that talked about it and explained it in a easier way of like swallowing, in a sense, is this guy named Cub Cooker. I think it's Cooker or Cuker on Instagram. Definitely go follow him. I've been trying to reach out to him, trying to get him on the show. I guess he's a busy guy, but holy shit. Whenever he was talking, and this has nothing to do with the show. This is just, I'm just sharing my excitement. But he had he was going through the book of Revelation in the Bible, and he was like, I'm pretty sure this entire book is all about the 7 chakras. And I was like,
oh, really?
I was like, wait a second, you know, because you hear people make wild claims and you're like, all right, let me at least hear them out. Right. Dude, you're going to be like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? It is crazy. Like how, and like, if you know about the chakras, which we've covered the chakras and stuff like that before, don't know them to like a crazy extent, but he's going to lay it out. So I'm going to share the screen for the one to be able to see. This is insane, dude. All right. So, but before we do, I just want to say, if anybody wants to be able to see the video days in advance, completely commercial free, come over to patreon.com/metamystics. That link is down in the show notes below. It's the best way to be able to support us. But also, we are on YouTube. I mean, yeah, there's going to be ads, and you're going to have to wait a few days until it gets posted to the podcast. It gets posted the same day over there. But if you want to be able to support us, Patreon would be the way to do that. You can join in on the community over there, and if you sign up for Wonder Wednesday, that'll give you access to come and join us and hang out with us every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, and it's always a great time. Sometimes we bring an awesome guest, which we will be, Psychic Cassandra coming on the show Wednesday. Sometimes it's just an awesome topic that we can kind of all bounce ideas off of each other in that sense. But look, either way, dude, I'm telling you, this video is going to rock your socks off.
All right. I'm ready, man.
I mean, maybe I'm just crazy and it has an effect on me, but I feel like it will on you too.
All right.
But, by the way, like people that were worried about God, siphoning them up to heaven and, the end time prophecies and, doomsday, basically. Most of that comes from the book of Revelation. And, man, you're going to look at them like they're idiots for believing that after you watch this. Like, it's crazy. Whenever you take shit literal, you're an idiot. I just want to say that. Like, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You
With
are
all due respect. Okay.
You're devolving is what you're doing when you take things literal. That's just my personal opinion. But because there's such a deeper message if you look at it beyond the surface. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. This is the Book of Revelation about the chakras by Cub Cooker. Check it out, dude. It's wild.
What if I told you that for 2,000 years we've been lied to about the Book of Revelation? That when read literally, it does nothing but breed fear. But when read allegorically, we understand it as nothing else than the chakras. Yes, literally the 7 churches of Revelation corresponding perfectly down to the word with the chakras. Don't believe me? Stick around. I'm going to lay it all out in this video. Starting with the root chakra, Pergamum, where Satan's seat is. Because you see, Satan is Saturn, who controls the 3D principles of the root chakra. This is why when Jesus beat Saturn in the desert, he actually resisted his 3D principles and needs and focused on the spiritual meaning. Next,
by the way, so whenever he's talking about beating Satan in the desert, that is basically like saying, you know, I beat whatever the body wants from me. Like it wanted food, it wanted water, maybe it wanted a little sex. You know what I'm saying? But it is saying, no, I am Jesus. I reign supreme over the physical body. You're not going to get me, which would be a root chakra kind of thing. Right.
You are overcoming the physical attachments. Right.
Yes. I mean, you're succumbing to your physical needs. Right? That's like getting past
all that temptation, right? Overcoming temptation.
Hey, you said it, not me. That temptation, also known as the serpent or the adversary, aka Satan, right? So, yeah, check it out, dude. He goes farther.
Have the sacral chakra or Thyatira. And Jesus' beef with this church was that they tolerated Jezebel and were seduced by her. Next, we have the solar plexus.
Hold on. Did you hear that? So
I kind of missed it.
The sacral chakra in that house that he's referring to, they were seduced by Jezebel.
Okay.
The sacral chakra.
That's where they lost me. Who's Jezebel again? I'm sorry.
I mean, it doesn't really necessarily matter. You don't need to know the entire context of it. But a Jezebel is like a whore, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and that they were succumbing to their sacral chakra because of the Jezebel. The sacral chakra literally is your groin region.
Right.
So crazy, right? But anyway, so now he's going to talk about the solar plexus.
Or Laodicea, literally dealing with zeal. Next, we have the heart chakra or Ephesus, who left their first love. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. It literally correlates exactly. It tells.
So, all right. So in the Ephesus, Jesus is like, yo, you left your first love. Which the first love is understood to be like Jesus's original teachings, that they started going away from his original teachings. And then eventually they tried to, you know, politicize it and do weird shit with it. And he was saying, look, you started this movement because of your love for, you know, Jesus, or, you know, the inner understanding of the Christ consciousness, basically. Right. And so it's funny because that is a heart chakra thing. Jesus tells them, don't forget your first love. So isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Says to repent so that their lampstand is not removed, aka the light of the heart. Next, the throat chakra, or the voice of Philadelphia. He was very happy with this church because they kept his word. See, word, voice. And now we get to the third eye, or the church at Sardis. And his issue with this church was that their works were not seen perfect in the sight of God. Seen. He also tells them to be watchful. And finally, the crown chakra at Smyrna. He says if they remain faithful to the end, they will receive the crown of life. Leads us to Jesus as the rider on the white horse, white representing all of the colors of the chakra spectrum. This ties.
Dude, yeah. Because white is said to
Could be just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence. No big deal, even though nobody can account for, you know, 3/4 of Jesus's life. But, you know, because some people say maybe he traveled to India, he got in touch with some shamans and some gurus and whatever, became enlightened that way.
Right.
My point being is that what a weird coincidence that these 7 churches that are brought up in the book of Revelation literally all perfectly correlate with these 7 chakras from bottom to top. And then even mentions Jesus riding on a white horse, the white symbolizing all colors together, right? Like that's like
and that all happens in order, right? Like in the book.
In order.
All in that order.
In order. Yeah. Wow. It's crazy from bottom to top.
It's a trip.
Right. So yeah.
And real quick, just because I don't know, like the book of Revelation, if you know, like who wrote this, whose words are these?
So it's Jesus's words that somebody is like catching in a dream.
But someone had to write it down. You know, like who's
Oh,
wrote it out?
Shit,
Like
I
who?
forget who wrote that. But you know what? I'll look that up real quick. So,
Okay.
and I'm gonna seem like an idiot for not knowing this because this is like common
No,
knowledge.
I don't know either. That's why I'm asking.
I
Just in
know
case
that
someone
it
else out
was
there might not know. You know,
John the Apostle. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah,
that's John.
yeah, it's the Apocalypse of John. So John is said to be receiving this message like in a dream, right? Like
Oh, wow.
it's a prophecy kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
allegedly a sign of things to come. Meanwhile,
Right.
it's revelation, which means to uncover. It doesn't
Right.
mean sign of things to come. It means
Mhm.
like fucking uncover it and see it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's
Right.
wild shit. You
And
know
so
what?
when that was written, if you know this, was it written before Jesus or after Jesus or in the same time that Jesus was? I mean,
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about when it was
Okay.
written, and to be honest,
Okay.
like I'm to the point where, you know, it's hard to find out when things were written because it's not all entirely agreed upon. Even the four
Right.
main gospels, Matthew,
Mhm.
Mark, Luke, and John, those aren't agreed upon as to when
Right.
they were written. Some people will say, well, it
Mhm.
was clearly written in 50 AD. Some people will say it's clearly the 60s or the 70s. Then you get other people that are like, yo, this shit wasn't written until the 2nd century. Like this shit
Right.
was
Right.
after. And,
Right. Yeah, because
and
I mean, I don't know too much about it. I don't know as much as I'd like. You know, I'd really like to understand as much of it as I can. But I would have just assumed that the main gospels were written in the time that Jesus was. You know what I mean? But I don't know enough. You know, I need to do some research.
well, and that's the
on my own.
issue is that Jesus, you know, allegedly dies in 31, 32, 33. Even people can't agree on that.
Right.
And you know, why did it take 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years to write a whole alleged like gospel about what Jesus said? Like these people,
Right.
you think about 50 years later. Like
Mhm.
imagine you told me something yesterday and I waited 50 years to tell anybody about it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like, and then check this out. And even if it was written in 70, let's just say 70 AD, which by the way is 40
Mhm.
years after Jesus' death,
Yeah.
even if it was written then, they didn't group it together in a Bible until like 330.
Right. Yeah, that's a trip, dude. It baffles me actually that they don't know how old he was when he died. You know, how do you not know how old Jesus is? You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, they
don't you
don't
think
even,
that's something you would know? Like, do they not know when he was born, or do they not know exactly what year it was that he died? I don't understand that.
it's usually agreed
How do you
upon
just not
time.
know that?
Yeah, it's usually agreed upon time as to when he was born, but for some
Right.
reason, the year that he died is
Right.
like confused.
Right.
And what's even weirder is that literally the savior of all humanity, he was gone for 18 years, dude. There is no documentation, allegedly, of Jesus anywhere until like his final years before he gets hung up on the cross.
Right. He just ghosted everybody for a good minute. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And you know,
there's-
I heard it's actually not even. Maybe it's not agreed upon, or I just assumed it was. I just assumed that it was December 25th that he was born, but that's not even true, from what I've heard recently.
no, not at all. No, and that's literally a pagan holiday. It's
Right.
the fucking winter solstice.
Right.
Like-
but growing up though, I feel like that's what people said. Like people around me were just like, "Oh yeah, it's Jesus's birthday."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? It's
Remember
like, oh,
the
that's
reason.
why we have Christmas.
It's so
you know?
silly. They're all. It's not about Christmas. Remember the reason. It's like
Right.
Jesus didn't die then either, you know,
Right,
so,
yeah.
or was born
Yeah.
around then. So I don't know. It's
Right.
weird.
It's a bunch of confusion, man.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that this shit was 2,000 years ago plus, you
Yeah.
know, and you have to rely on the game of telephone and the game of interpretation and the game of like language, you know, traversing through time and all the translations.
Then you add in the capability of humans to just flat out lie. You know what I mean? We
To
do
push
it
a
now
narrative.
today. You know? So-
exactly. To push a narrative in that sense. And that's, you know, and that's something that I really find very interesting about how people believe that the Bible was divinely inspired. Meanwhile, it's like, if you look back at all of the different councils, starting with the Council of Nicaea with Emperor Constantine, he was not doing it because he was a man of God. He was doing it because he was converting the gods. He was he worshiped Sol Invictus, bro. Like this, he was, and that's why all the pictures of Jesus all have a sun behind him, just like all of the old Roman emperor coins. They all had a sun behind them because it was the sun god, is what they, or a
symbolism of
a
it.
version of the sun god, right? And it's like, man, these people were governors. You know what I'm saying? Like these people were not, I don't know. We're not going to get too far into it, but I just love looking up all that history from another point of view, because I don't even trust history. I think that history is a lie agreed upon. And so if it is a lie agreed upon, then maybe we should be looking in the other direction. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for that.
We'll figure something out, you know, along the way.
Along the way. That's all we're trying to do, is uncovering. So, all right, back to it. So tonight we're going to open a book that the world wasn't supposed to see. The Gospel of Thomas, a text that was hidden for nearly 2,000 years beneath the sands of Egypt. These aren't stories about Jesus. They're the direct sayings of the living Jesus, the voice of divine consciousness, speaking through a man who remembered who he truly was. This gospel was buried because it told a truth too dangerous for organized religion, was that the kingdom of heaven is not coming someday. It's already here. That salvation isn't found through belief in another, but through awakening to the divinity within yourself. This is the message of the mystics. And for that truth, countless souls were silenced, as we were kind of talking about earlier with the Cathars. So before we even get into reading about the Gospel of Thomas, it's important to understand what this gospel cost humanity, like cost the Gnostic believers. It is a wild story. So we're going to get into just a little bit of it, not the entire thing. Eventually, I would love to do an entire episode on the Cathars. But I had already said we were going to, you know, we wanted to do this one. So maybe that's a future episode. So when the early church consolidated power, it declared that only its interpretation of Jesus would be allowed. Anything that taught direct access to God, anything that bypassed the hierarchy, was branded heresy. The Gnostics were hunted, their scrolls were burned, and their teachers were erased from history. The Cathars of southern France were slaughtered by the tens of thousands in the 13th century. They taught that the material world was a trap, that the true God was pure light, and that Christ came to remind us of our origin beyond matter. Their faith was simple, nonviolent, and deeply mystical. Yet the church called them evil dualists and wiped them out in what became the Albigensian Crusade. That's a sick one right there.
All right.
So, dude, before we even carry on to the next genocided Gnostic community, because there's a couple of them, it said, so they went and wiped everybody out. There was a couple of Cathars that were still remaining. As I said, I watched 3 documentaries on this shit last night, but so I got nothing to do. So anyway, so it said that there were like 3 or 4 Cathars that remained at the end, and they were basically, to use today's verbiage, held at gunpoint, either convert or die, right? And they had a bunch of fires already going on because they were just setting their entire villages on fire, right?
Right.
And and so their shit was on fire, and so the Catholics were like, either convert or die. The Cathars were like, we're just not gonna do that. And so they walked.
We're not doing that.
They walked into the fire and sacrificed themselves for their beliefs.
God. Holy shit.
Literally, yeah.
I can't imagine.
I mean, talk about absolute belief. That's what it's all about right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but they weren't the only ones when we're talking about the Cathars. Before the Cathars came the Bogomils of the Balkans, a spiritual movement that taught salvation through knowledge of the inner light. These are all Gnostic groups, by the way. Yeah. They said that the church was ruled by a false god, a demiurge who kept souls bound to matter. The church labeled them as heretics and destroyed their villages too.
Yep.
So just so everybody knows, all of these groups are labeled heretics because they misunderstood the message,
Yep.
which was
Thought
to
crimes.
obey rather than look
Right.
for your inner light.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
how people can't get that is it blows my
Yep.
mind.
Right.
So yeah. Oh, and by the way, that whenever the church called the Cathars and the Bogomils and the group that we're about to talk about with the Valentinians, they called all of them evil dualists because they believed that there were two gods. So dualism, basically,
Duelist. Right. Okay.
which was the real God, you know, the true one.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, all of these were every single one of these groups allegedly were inspired by Plato. So I just want to throw that out there.
Really?
Yeah, all of
Okay.
them.
Okay.
And also even the biblical early church fathers were too, but nobody wants to talk about that.
Right.
So
And the
yeah.
second god?
So the second god was the demiurge.
Right.
They
Okay.
believed that
That's
there
what I
were
thought.
two
That's what I
gods,
thought. I just,
and
right.
they believed that the Catholic Church, the church that the Catholic Christians were believing in, the
Was the
God that they
demiurge.
believed in was the demiurge, and that they
Right.
were carrying out the demiurge's will.
Right. Okay.
So we
Yeah.
can't be having that.
No, dude. No. I mean, you know, it makes sense actually when you think about it. Like, I feel like only the demiurge would send you to hell. You know what I mean? For not worshiping it or him or
Well,
her or whatever it is.
And a demiurge would go to battle with anybody who disagreed with the rightful, you know, God message.
Right. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, we talked about the Cathars, the Bogomils. They said that the church was ruled by a false god, a demiurge who kept souls bound to matter. And that's the interesting thing, is that they believed that salvation doesn't come from you know, some holy water sprinkled on your face, or, you know, eating a cracker and drinking some juice, or any of those kind of like occult
traditional
things.
type stuff. Right.
They believed that salvation was an inner salvation, that you awoke to the truth. You began to realize the absolute truth. And so whenever you got somebody telling you, well, you got to follow this rule and this law and do this or else you're going to hell, it's like, clearly that is demiurge mentality, right?
Right. Right. Exactly.
So, so yeah, the church
wouldn't want you to have some sort of knowledge of something, you know, the ability to overcome some bullshit that's being thrown your way.
Well, dude,
you know,
and you hear about a lot of jaded Catholics, especially, but jaded Christians in general, that you're not allowed to question anything. And if you do get questioned, I mean, I've heard stories. People are going to Sunday school or whatever, and they'll literally get their hand beat with a ruler by a nun for having a question like that.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder though, because I mean, I've heard of several you know, parts in the Bible and things that you've mentioned, and I'm like, wow, that's in there. Like, it doesn't seem like something that should be in there, as far as things that happened and certain ways of thought and beliefs, and you can't do this or else this or what have you. And it's like, I imagine they're not even talking about that in church. I feel like they skip over those parts, right?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't there be a lot of questions that would come up if you went over something like that? That's like, wait a minute, what? What did he just say?
Bro, I've talked about like how I went to church for a little bit over a year every Sunday, like maybe a year and a half, something like that. And just out of curiosity. And bro, I mean, you would think the Bible is literally known for being like a thick book. That's why whenever people compare thick books, they're like, dude, it's a Bible of information, right? Like it's a super thick with 2 C's book. Why is it that over a course of a year, you're repeating some same shit that you said last year? We should be talking about other stories, you know? So it's very limited as far as the teachings that the churches are talking about.
Exactly. Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, you had the Bogomils. Unfortunately, they were labeled heretics, and they got their villages destroyed in the name of Christ. And and before them were the Valentinians, which it made me think of you, because if you were born a day later, your name was going to be Valentine.
Can you imagine? Valentino
Valentine
would have been my name.
God.
Yeah. Imagine that, dude.
I can't.
Yeah, maybe it would have worked out though. Sure. You know what I mean? I would have just embodied that, you know, but Yeah, anyway.
Dude, you'd have just carried around a little heart and arrow, and maybe you wore some wings and shit. You know, your little cherub.
Dude. Maybe I would have been like way more attractive. Even who knows? You know what I mean? How far that would have went?
It's possible.
Who knows?
It's possible.
I feel like your name does have a lot to do with kind of who you become eventually.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too.
Just vibrationally, every time you hear your name, I feel like even if it's just a little bit at a time, you know what I mean? It helps shape who you are. I feel like you're very much a Jonathan. You know what I mean? Like you embody that.
Well, I mean, I hope that's a good thing, but I will say,
I think it is.
Sean, you're a sexy beast. Don't let nobody tell you anything.
Oh, thanks,
different,
man.
okay?
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So yeah, back to the before them. So the Valentinians were the first ones that were persecuted in this way. So the Valentinians, they were early Christian mystics who blended philosophy and revelation. Interesting how they blended both of those, right? Especially after we just got done talking about revelation. But it says, teaching that the soul's purpose was to awaken from ignorance and reunite with divine source.
Right.
So their leader's name was Valentinus. He nearly became the Bishop of Rome until his message of Gnosis threatened the growing empire of orthodoxy.
Imagine that, dude.
Can't have
You
that.
know, you're just like, wait a minute. And they're like, wait a minute, looking over at you like he might have figured some shit out, you know? So that's that one movie, the Free Guy, you know? So like they look over and stop making their coffee, like, dude's figuring some shit out. Hold on, we can't be having that. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like a lot of this is like, and you know, especially since we just covered about how reality may be a dream. Dude, and this is what I think. I think that this reality has to be a dream because why is it that like, just like in a dream, if everybody's wearing a hat and you take off your hat, everybody looks at you like you just committed a heretical sin, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, if you go against what everybody believes, they all look at you that same way as if you took your hat off.
Right. Oh, shit. Interesting.
Yeah, super strange.
You're fully on board with that, huh? That whole dream thing.
Dude, it's not even a bought in. It's that like dude, ever since that fucking void trip, it is just exploded in my mind. It makes the most amount of sense because I saw reality delete as if it was a dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it
like if you woke up right now in your bed, like from this moment, all of a sudden you just woke up, you'd be like, yeah, it's about right. You know,
yeah. I'm just going with the flow now, dude. Any day now, I'm gonna be waking up from that dream. But anyway, look, so every one of these movements carried the same flame, the light of inner knowing, and every one was extinguished by the same darkness, the fear of spiritual freedom. So as we read the Gospel of Thomas tonight, remember that these words are sacred, not just because of what they reveal, but because of what they survived. This is the gospel that never bowed to the empire. This is the whisper that refused to die.
Ooh, all right, dude, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, dude, this is going to get crazy. So I'm going to share the screen, and I have the Gospel of Thomas right here. And we're going to read it line by line. I believe it's 114 lines. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. So the text of the Gospel of Thomas from the Scholar's Version translation published in the Complete Gospels. So here we go. It says, these are the secret sayings that the living Jesus spoke and Didymus Judas Thomas recorded. So that was like his full name, I guess.
Right.
Number one, and we're just going to read through them. If you want me to stop at any one of them, or if you find any one of them like crazy, I actually have, I brought something up that brings up like little side descriptions as to, well, this is what he meant by that kind of thing, like little examples. So you want me to stop? Just let me know. We'll look it up.
Okay.
All right. So, number one, and he said, whoever discovers the interpretations of these sayings will not taste death. Coming out the gate with that.
Yeah, dude. All right. I'm listening.
Jesus said, those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed. When they are disturbed, they will marvel and will rule over all.
We heard this one before. This one sounds familiar.
Jesus said, if your readers say to you, look, the Father's imperial rule is in the sky, the Father or God, different translations.
Mhm.
But look, the imperial rule is in the sky. Then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it's in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the Father's imperial rule is inside you and outside you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are the children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty, and you are the poverty.
If you don't mind, can we go into that one a little deeper?
Yeah, so and I'm going to try and interpret it, then we'll look it up. But so the Father is always known, that's what he called the Father. He just call it the source, we'll say, instead of calling it the Father, right? So God, universe, source, the one, the Father, same shit. Okay. So look, the source's imperial rule is in the sky. Then the birds will precede you. Basically saying that, look, if they're saying that heaven is in the sky, then the birds are closer to heaven than you are.
Okay.
And if they say to you, no, it's in the sea, then the fish will be closer to heaven than you are. So don't look at it as if it's out there or over there. What he's saying is this shit is inside you and outside you. So basically to say that literally the source is everywhere. It's all an emanation of the source, right?
Right.
And so when you know yourselves, then you will be known. So, I mean, they always say to know yourself is that's the most important thing you could ever do is to know thyself, right?
Yep.
Like the actual true self, what you are, not, your job or your wife or your kids, not what you like or you dislike, beyond the ego shit, what you know to be you. And
you would think that would be the easiest thing to do, who spends more time with you than you do? You would think you have a really good understanding of who the true you is. If you ask somebody, who are you? I feel like that's just it's a little bit more complex, and it's kind of a hard question to answer. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know thyself, right?
That's when you say, I am God. Or you just say I am,
right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So when you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are the children of the living Father. Basically, you are emanations of the source. Yes.
Right.
But if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're poor, your pocketbook's a little light. Doesn't mean that, right? You live in poverty of the soul. That means your soul is so poor. That's why whenever you see people who have crazy anxiety or crazy depression, it's sad because they don't know that they have that spark within them, right? And so, but the spark hears it and it's all right, well, this is what we're going to give you then. They don't know that it's just a phase. It's just a dark night of the soul kind of situation meant to build you.
Right.
Whereas
you're so much more open to suggestibility, more open to outside sources telling you who you are, what you are.
So,
and you just run with that because you're like, okay, if you say so, I guess that's what I am.
Yeah, you're just taking suggestion at that point. But it's funny because he goes, if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty and you are the poverty. You are the poverty. You are literally, you're so poor of the mind that your body decides to replicate it into material reality, and so that the outside mimics the inside.
Yep. Of course.
So and then it goes on to say that Jesus said that the person old in days won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life, and that person will live. For many of the first will be last and will become a single one. Ooh, I feel like this is going to be a long episode because I'm going to be breaking all these down. But they're banger quotes, though.
Dude.
So the person old in days won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life. Well, because the place of life, they just came from, they're only 7 days old. They're closer to the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the person that will ask a kid that young is open-minded enough to say that yo, you're closer to the other side than I ever will be. And you remember a little bit more, and it's just a baby, dude. It's just, it's an allegory of saying that it's, you're going to know God a little bit more if you were to ask a baby than you would a scholar.
Right. A baby would know itself more than someone older would. Because someone older has more time to layer on bullshit. along the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's the baby hasn't been
Just
conditioned
is.
yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an ideology about the world and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So, and then it says, for many of the first will be last and will become a single one. For many of the first will be last. So, I believe,
That I'm not too sure about.
let's look that one up. I have an idea
Yeah.
about what it could be, but I don't want to sound like an idiot. So, here we go. Which one is that? For many of the first will be last.
The sixth one, or
Is that six?
oh no, I'm sorry, no. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. The fourth one. So, Gospel of Thomas right here, saying number 4, the first will be last. Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that.
Yep.
So I believe, and I'm just going to try and clarify it myself, but, and I could be wrong, but I believe whenever they say that the first will be last, kind of like, because it's mentioned with the whole poverty thing, right? Or no, it's
Mhm.
mentioned with the child 7 days old about the place in life. The first will be last and will, I don't know about that one. For
Not sure.
many, the first of the first will be last and will become a single one. Becoming a single one would just be everybody going back to the Father, everybody going back to the source, right?
Right.
Moving on, and maybe we'll remind me, and maybe we'll go back to that one so I can look it
Okay.
up. So Jesus said, know what is in front of your face, and what is hidden from you will be disclosed to you. For there is nothing hidden that won't be revealed. I feel like that one's pretty obvious.
Nature keeps no secrets, man.
Ain't no secret. So it goes on. His disciples asked him and said to him, do you want us to fast? How should we pray? Should we give to charity? What diet should we observe? Jesus said, don't lie and don't do what you hate, because all things are disclosed before heaven. After all, there is nothing hidden that won't be revealed, and there is nothing covered up that will remain undisclosed. Deep cut. I like it.
Wow.
So basically all these people, they're saying, should we do this? Should we do that? We're just trying to get into heaven.
Do what you hate.
Dude, like if you're doing something that you hate, you're defeating the entire purpose of it all.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Interesting.
nextly, it says, Jesus said, lucky is the lion that the human will eat, so that the lion becomes human. Oh, all right.
Okay.
And foul is the human that the lion will eat, and the lion still will become human. Whoa, what? So lucky
All
is the
right.
lion that the human will eat. So the lion is lucky for being eaten by a human, so that the lion becomes human. Well, that's understood. I mean, what you eat, you become. Like you are what you eat. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And foul is the human. Foul is the human that the lion will eat. And the lion still will become human. Let's check our notebook.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's check on
That's
that
a
one.
toughie.
Okay, so all right, so we went. Jesus said, "Don't lie, don't do what you hate, because all things are disclosed before heaven. After all, there is nothing hidden that won't be revealed, and there is nothing covered up what will remain." That was the 6th one, and the basic understanding of it is that integrity aligns inner and outer self. Truthful living awakens spirit. So yeah, it's about right.
Okay.
Don't be doing what you're hating. If you're doing it out of hate, then it's not. It defeats the
What's
purpose.
the point? What's the point? You're wasting time.
Wasting everybody's time with that.
Mhm.
The next one says, Jesus said, lucky is the lion that the human will eat. That's where we left off. Lucky is the lion that the human will eat, so that the lion becomes human. And foul is the human that the lion will eat, and the lion still will become human. Basically, that means that what you identify with consumes you. Master your lower instincts or be devoured by them.
Oh,
Wow.
That's way deeper than I thought it was, man.
Yeah.
I did not understand that at all, dude. I'm glad you found that.
Yeah, dude, deep cut. Next one says, and he said, the human one is like a wise fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea full of little fish. Among them, the wise fisherman discovered a fine, large fish. He threw all the little fish back into the sea and easily chose the large fish. Anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen, which means choose the essential and release the trivial. Discernment brings abundance.
That's great.
That's a great one.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very, very good.
It says, Jesus said, look, the sower went out, took a handful of seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the road, and the birds came and gathered them. Others fell on rock, and they didn't take root in the soil and didn't produce heads of grain. Others fell on thorns, and they choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on good soil, and it produced a good crop. It yielded 60 per measure and 120 per measure. What does that one mean? Same as the canonical parable. Spiritual seeds thrive only in receptive hearts.
Okay.
Okay, so don't cast your pearls to swine, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't preach to unwilling ears.
Yeah.
You're just wasting your time. You're wasting their time. You're wasting everybody's time.
Yep.
That's something I got to be better at doing too, because I just want to tell this shit to everybody. Dude, I went on a date the other night, and I was telling all this kind of shit. Right?
Oh God!
And
first date, huh?
Yeah, because I'm like, you know what?
You gotta wait till at least the third date. I think
I'll know that she's the right one whenever I can just say this shit, and she'd be like, "Tell me more. I want to know more." You know.
Right.
But whenever, we never hung out again. But anyway, so the next one says, Jesus said, "I have cast fire upon the world, and look, I'm guarding it until it blazes." What it means is, Jesus's words ignite transformation. The fire is consciousness spreading. A lot like the Cathars, right?
Yeah.
Same shit. It started to spread. Wow. Everybody started to get behind it, and they were met with a different kind of fire, unfortunately.
Yep.
Jesus said, "This heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. During the days when you ate what is dead, you made it come alive. When you are in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you became two, what will you do?" Oh man, I feel like that's gonna be a deep one. So all forms are impermanent. Only the light within endures.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Read it one more time, just for me.
This heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. During the days when you ate what is dead, you made it come alive. When you are in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you became two, what will you do? Oh, I get it a little bit more now. So you thought that you were just one individual, like one ego. You thought that the ego ruled everything, basically, right? And then whenever you realize the light inside of you, you realize that ego is not even you. That's a separate, that's another version of you. That's something that you're observing, bro. And so what he's saying is, when you become two, what are you going to do? Are you going to, go back into your physical human flesh-like ways of the egoic mind, or, because now you have a choice. Which one are you gonna side with? I dig that. Yeah. Next, it says, the disciples said to Jesus, "We know that you are going to leave us. Who will be our leader?" Jesus said to them, what a stupid question. Not stupid. I mean, they're learning, whatever. Jesus said to them, "No matter where you are to go to James, the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being." All right. Basically saying that inner guidance, the living Jesus or the living Christ within you, the Christ consciousness, for lack of a better term. I know people get all butthurt by that term, but it's the best kind of synonym that you could even say for it, right? Okay. Instead of even saying Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness, just call it your spark, call it the inner knowing, the observer, maybe it's your chi, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to call it, right? So yeah, he's saying, so the inner guidance, the living Jesus, remains after the teacher departs. He's basically saying, look, you can develop this shit inside of you. You don't even need a leader anymore.
Right. Exactly. I mean, just because the teacher left doesn't mean the wisdom has to leave with it, Yeah. Keep
on meditating on it, praying on it, really contemplate what he's saying. That's basically what he's saying, I think. Nextly, we have, Jesus said to his disciples, "Compare me to something and tell me what I am like." Simon Peter said to him, "You are just like an angel." Matthew said to him, "You are like a wise philosopher." Thomas said to him, "Teacher, my mouth is utterly unable to say what you are like." Thomas is probably the smartest one.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "I am not your teacher because you have drunk. You have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring that I have tended." And he took him and withdrew and spoke 3 sayings to him. When Thomas came back to his friends, he took Thomas with him. He took, because they were all like, I see you as a philosopher. I see you as a teacher.
Yeah.
Thomas is all, there ain't even words to describe what the fuck's going on right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. So when Thomas came back.
To say what he is to say that he's not anything else.
Good point.
Right?
Good point. Yeah. So when Thomas came back to his friends, they asked him, "What did Jesus say to you?" Thomas said to them, "If I tell you one of the sayings that he spoke to me, you will pick up rocks and stone me, and fire will come from the rocks and devour you."
Whoa.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth, is what
Right,
he's
no
saying. So that was 13. So Thomas
Like, this shit
recognizes
right here.
shit right here.
Uh-huh.
Almost went a little far there. But it says Thomas recognizes Jesus's ineffable nature. Self-knowledge equals knowing Christ.
Hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. I like it. The next one says, Jesus said to them, "If you fast, you will bring sin upon yourselves. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give to charity, you will harm your spirits. When you go into any region and walk about in the countryside, when people take you in, eat what they serve you and heal the sick among them. After all, what goes into your mouth won't defile you. What comes out of your mouth will."
Ooh. Interesting.
So it says, empty ritual is meaningless. Consciousness, not asceticism, purifies. So don't just look like, you're a regular Sunday churchgoer who on Saturday, you were snorting coke off of hookers' buttholes, right? You got to live this shit. Don't just give the ascetic of it.
Right. Exactly.
Not that there's anything, entirely against snorting cork off of.
You know,
No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Each their own, We're not
each
here to
their own.
judge, basically.
Yeah, I'm not.
What we're saying.
Where were we here? Yeah. So next one says, Jesus said, "When you see one who was not born of a woman, fall on your faces and worship. That one is your father." Oh. So it means honor the divine consciousness beyond duality. Pure spirit transcends birth. So this is kind of like, when people would go and get baptized, born again, right? Like that was, dude, that's not a lot of people want to hear that part. But the reason why Jesus was born of a virgin, just throwing it out there, the reason why he was born of a virgin was because he was baptized. He was born again without a mother. Right? Like, so he was born free and clear of sin, right? So he don't need a mother to be born again. So therefore his mother would be a virgin in that sense.
Right.
He was born of a virgin.
Wow. Okay. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun one. That was a good time back then. But where were we? So Jesus said, "Perhaps people think that I have come to cast peace upon the world. They do not know that I have come to cast conflicts upon this earth. Fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house. There will be 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Father against son, and son against father, and they will stand alone." Ooh.
Yeah, I need to break this one down, I think.
I think it's actually easier than it seems. It says, "Awakening disrupts illusion. Truth divides false unity before real peace forms." So anybody that is going out there and they're having spiritual awakenings, or, maybe they just believed in the first conspiracy they ever heard of in their life, and they want to go and tell everybody, "Oh my God, did you know that 9/11 was an inside job? There are receipts." And, people in your family be like, "Look at this fucking nut job." And I'm only saying that from experience, by the way. And so they start to separate themselves with you because they don't vibe with what you're saying. And so what he's saying is that, you know what, like, you're eventually going to come to the understanding that, like, the Father, the source, God, whatever, is inside you. It's not something that you have to pray to. It's not something that you have to worship. It is something that is literally inside you. Right. And so if you go and tell that to anybody, you're going to seem like a nut job. You're going to seem like this guy. What, he's calling himself Jesus now? Okay.
Right.
Right. It's like, it's funny because you'll hear people that, disagree with that, and they'll say, oh man, those people, they just worship themselves. Dude, nothing fires up my chonies than like more than people that are like, oh, they're just worshiping themselves. First of all, no, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like, you're defeating the entire purpose if you are worshiping yourself anyway. It makes no sense.
I would say most people are not worshiping themselves. I feel like if nothing else, most of us are our own worst critic. You know what I mean? And we're trying to rise above that. At least, I mean, in my opinion, my experience.
It's the idea of people calling themselves God and then worshiping and praying to themselves. So it's like mental gymnastics, really.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's doing that, though. That's what I'm saying.
I never met anybody that did that. Like, Optimistic Banks always coming on here is like, yo, I'm God, you're God, what up, God? Right?
Right. But none of us are worshiping each other. That's not what we're saying here.
No, I'll give you
It's a whole different understanding of what God is.
Exactly, dude. I'll give you a namaste, but I'm not going to bow to you. I'm not going to bow to my knees to you.
Right.
That's as far as I'll take it. So Jesus. Okay. So Jesus said, I will give what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, what no hands has touched, and what has not arisen in the human heart. 17 says, divine revelation exceeds sensory or mental comprehension. Yeah, that makes sense. You ever like the shit that you see in meditation, the shit that you see while you're tripping out? It's like, it's too beautiful
you can't
to
put
even
into words.
Dude, you can't. There's no words for it, right? Like, there's nothing to compare it to. And what he's saying is that I mean, I'm not saying that what you see in meditation, what you see in DMT trips or whatever is God, but I think, I don't know. Is it not? I don't know.
Part of it, right? If God is everything.
I mean, it's at least related.
And it's definitely like when you go into a meditation or a DMT trip, you're seeing something that nobody else has ever seen before. Even if it's similar to what other people have seen, it's definitely something that no eye has seen before. And that was just for you.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Yeah, it's definitely seems like it's a story being told for the first time.
Yeah.
That you've never heard, you've never seen, none of that before. Which is really what all like nirvana and bliss and, like enlightenment entails, right? It's like, you can't speak, you can't hear, you can't touch any of that shit whenever you come to enlightenment. This is Jesus speaking from an enlightened point of view, right?
Yeah.
So, where were we? I always miss my spot. So, okay, here we go. So Jesus, okay. So the disciples said to Jesus, tell us, how will our end come? Jesus said, have you found the beginning then that you are looking for the end? You see, the end will be where the beginning is. Congratulations to the one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death. Basically to say, know your origin, which is the source, to know your destiny. Both are one.
Right. It's like the cyclical nature, of the universe or just existence in general.
I mean, they say
when you
time
get to the
itself,
end, you're really just at the beginning again.
Right? Time itself is, cyclical. Jesus said, congratulations. Another congratulations. Is that another one? Yeah. Jesus said, congratulations to the one who came into being before coming into being. Whoa.
Okay.
If you become my disciples and pay attention to my sayings, these stones will serve you. For there are 5 trees in paradise for you. They do not change, summer or winter, and their leaves do not fall. Whoever knows them will not taste death. Basically to say,
we need to break that down.
So, awareness of eternal spirit before birth is enlightenment.
Whoa.
All right. There's a lot of unraveling there, I think.
Yeah, I think
I almost want to read that again because I feel like I might get an idea. I feel like it's so deeply encoded, though. There are 5 trees in paradise for you. They do not change, summer or winter, and their leaves do not fall. He's such like a he's like a poet with it.
Yeah, I want to know what the 5 trees are. I mean, he definitely meant to say 5 trees. You know, like what are the 5 trees? You
That's
know, like I feel like there's something there that we're just like totally overlooking.
Yeah, there's got to be something to it. Yeah, we're learning here right on the spot. By the way, we always say you don't know what you don't know. We don't know this part, so we're gonna check it out.
We don't know a lot of parts.
Yeah, we're just learning with everybody else. Oh, okay. All right. So the 5 trees in paradise is a concept from the Gospel of Thomas where Jesus mentions that these trees remain unchanged through the seasons and symbolize eternal life. They are often interpreted as representing spiritual truths or the 5 human senses, which are essential for understanding one's true nature and achieving enlightenment.
See, the 5 senses.
Makes sense.
It was right there, dude. God, I knew it though. I knew there was something that he was alluding to that was just right under our noses.
Yeah, I'm happy you pointed that one out. That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have the disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us what heaven's imperial rule is like." He said to them, "It's like a mustard seed. It's the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on prepared soil, it produces a large branch and becomes a shelter for birds of the sky." What that means is it grows from the smallest seed into a vast being. Consciousness expands from subtle to cosmic.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. And this is something to where they say, you want to change the world, change yourself, right?
Mhm.
So it's like
Yeah.
change, and this could be like a parallel reality kind of thing, or, you know, raising your frequency that you can, so that you can jump to a higher level of consciousness, a higher, you know, realm, so to say.
Right.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Mary said to Jesus, "What are your disciples like?" He said, "They are like little children living in a field that is not theirs." When the owners of the field come, they will say, "Give us back our field." They take off their clothes in front of them in order to give it back to them, and they return their field to them. For this reason, I say, if the owners of a house know that a thief is coming, they will be on guard before that thief arrives and will not let the thief break into their house and steal their possessions. As for you, then, be on guard against the world. Prepare yourselves with great strength so that the robbers can't find a way to get to you, for the trouble you expect will come. Let there be among you a person who understands. When the crop ripened, he came quickly carrying a sickle and harvested it. Anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen. Man, he always
the one
spoke in
thing I got
parables.
of that, the one thing that I got out of that I think I might understand is just the understanding of the trouble that you expect will come. You know what I mean? If you think about manifestation, you know, and you're thinking about the negative shit, well, eventually that negative shit's going to happen if you dwell on it long enough. But I mean, I could be completely wrong, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, he goes, they're like children, talking about his disciples that he's teaching all this to. And this is Mary asking him. Like, Mary is said to be like the closest to Jesus out of everybody, right? Mary Magdalene, right? That was his homegirl. Well, his girlfriend, his wife, I don't know, different interpretations. Some people say that they eventually, you know, got married, had kids. That's a heretical statement that I just said, but
right. Oh,
they're,
shit. You watch it, dude.
there may be proof of that. And it's crazy because there's this one blood type, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's this one blood type that is literally it's like 1%, like less than 1% of the entire world has this blood type, right?
Okay.
Except in what is known as the Basque region. The Basque region, which is over in Europe, right?
Uh-huh.
In that entire region, 40% of all of their people have that one blood type.
Oh, shit.
And so some people say, well, those people that have that same blood type could be the living descendants of Jesus's kids.
Holy shit.
That's a theory. I don't know.
Interesting.
I got to look more into it, but that's what I heard
Right.
recently. And I was like, whoa, imagine.
1% of the world has that blood type.
Right, but
Okay.
40% of that small community has it.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up just while you're doing your thing, because that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And it's one of those blood types to where they can't take blood from literally anybody else. Like they need, if they're going to get like
O negative or
no, it's
is it O
something, it's something negative. It's like like MH negative or something like that.
Okay.
Just look up the Basque region, Basque. But yeah, it's super interesting. But while you're looking that up, we're gonna move on here. So, that's what I wanted to say. So he's saying like, look, these people, these disciples that I have are like little children living in a field that is not theirs. If you think about it, they're just trying to learn from him. They still look up to him like he's a teacher, he's a savior, and Jesus is like, you're not getting it. You have this too.
Right.
You know,
you're just not getting it.
And that's why he's like, you know, when the owners of the field come, they'll say, give us back our field. Basically to say that like, look, you can't take what's not yours. Yeah, you can take the teachings and the learnings and all that kind of stuff and maybe try to apply it to your life. But if you're still just going to look at me like I'm some kind of savior, you're missing the forest for the trees.
Right, exactly.
So next one says, Jesus saw some babies nursing. He said to his disciples, these nursing babies are like those who enter the Father's domain. They said to him, then shall we enter the Father's domain as babies? Jesus said to them, when you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make male and female into a single one, so that the male will not be male, nor the female be female. When you make eyes in place of an eye, it's that third eye shit, baby. A place or a hand in place of a hand, a foot in place of a foot, an image in place of an image, then you will enter the Father's domain.
Damn. Interesting.
Basically saying it's a core Gnostic teaching. Merge duality into unity. Wholeness reveals the kingdom.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah, turn the two eyes into one. If therefore thine eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light.
That's right. Preach, my brother.
Yes.
That blood type, it's the Basque people have the highest frequency of RH negative.
RH negative. I was close.
Okay. I've never heard of that. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, most people wouldn't.
1% of the world has it.
Yeah, but that region, it's up there like 40% of all of them have it or something crazy.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so some people suggest that was actually Jesus went over there. Him and Mary Magdalene had a couple of babies. And and it's interesting because, you know what? We're going to do a whole show on that because that's a deep cut right there.
Okay.
But basically some people will say that like, yo, Jesus died like real close to this region. The people that don't like accept that he died on the cross, they say that that's just a story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on. So, Jesus said, I shall choose you, 1 from 1,000 and 2 from 10,000, and they will stand as a single one. Few, it means that few reach self-realization. Many are called, but only the prepared awaken.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Even though it feels like when you're awakened, you're not ready. You know, it definitely feels like you're just thrust into this mystery, you know? Yeah.
Well, and that's the problem, you know, like why you think about how all the Cathars were taken out and, you know, all the other Gnostic beliefs and understandings and all the other like Gnostic societies, they were all taken out. The books were burned. That's why they buried it, because they knew that it was probably inevitable, right? But all of them were taken out. What if they weren't? Like, what if the Cathars won? What a different world we'd be living in right now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, who's to say what it would look like? But yeah, I imagine it would definitely be, I don't know, I feel like it would be a little more positive, right? If everybody was really trying to know themselves and really try to embrace these teachings and understandings, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because
like if you want to change the world, change yourself. You know, it's like,
and that's the thing is that you'll hear Christians say that Jesus wasn't a teacher, he was a savior. I'm like, man, look at the other side. You know, like what if he was a teacher? What if he was like a teacher like Buddha? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if that was still the case, we'd probably all still be worshiping fucking Sol Invictus right now, but that's another story.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows? We have no idea.
Yeah. So where are we now? His disciples said, show us the place where you are, for we must seek it. He said to them, anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. There is light within a person of light, and it shines on the whole world. If it does not shine, it is dark. It says
All
the divine spark is self-existent. When seen, it illuminates the world. The world from
Self-existent,
your perception.
said. Right. Okay.
Yes, you illuminate from the inside. You become the light of the world.
Right.
So nextly, we have Jesus said, love your friends like your own soul. Protect them like the pupil of your eye. So
I like that.
true love mirrors self-love. Protect the sacredness of every being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because you ever notice that, like, whenever you're judgmental of anybody or anything, it doesn't even have to be of their religious or political affiliation, whatever, right? Usually that judgment that you're expressing it outwardly, but it is resonating within you every time you're doing it, right? And that's why he's saying, like, yo, like, take care of your neighbor. And it's weird how it is a mirrored effect that whenever you take care of somebody, whenever you're there for somebody, that's like, it's instant gratification, what you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
You know,
and,
it's a
and people
dopamine.
around you are more likely to return that. You know, I think I've heard of it's called like the mirror neurons. I think we covered that at one point. You know what I mean? But if someone is doing something, you want to mirror that. So if everybody is kind of trying to protect their neighbor and love their neighbor and really just try to understand each other, then everybody can mirror that back. You know, and just I don't know, it makes sense.
Dude, you want to
It's
hear
just easier said than done.
you want to hear a funny story about neurons? You know where they just found neurons that, yeah, I mean, everybody has neurons in the brain, right? That's where we all thought that all neurons exist. Did you know they just found out that there are neurons in the heart?
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Isn't that
So your
crazy?
heart can actually be thinking, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, so.
Like when you feel a heartbreak, you're actually feeling it in your heart.
Oh, and you, dude, like whenever your child is born, or your child does something that, like, oh my God, that just warms my heart, literally.
Literally warming your heart. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a trip.
So Jesus said, you see the silver in your friend's eye, but you don't see the timber in your own eye. When you take the timber out of your own eye, then you will see well enough to remove the silver from your friend's eye. Self-awareness. So basically, if you see a speck in your brother's eye, but not the beam in your own, basically to say that if you're judging somebody else, it's like you shouldn't judge because then that will be duplicated. But basically, he's saying self-awareness precedes judgment. Cleanse perception before correcting others.
Right. Yep. Makes sense. Yep.
I like it.
So much easier to project that outwardly, you know, rather than noticing your own imperfections and your own inconsistencies and things of this nature, dude. So yeah, that makes sense.
If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the Father's domain. If you do not observe the Sabbath as the Sabbath day, you will not see the Father. So, to say, detachment from worldly craving reveals inner freedom.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next one says, Jesus said, I took my stand in the midst of the world, and in the flesh I appeared to them. I found them all drunk, and I did not find any of them thirsty. My soul ached for the children of humanity, because they are blind in their hearts and do not see. For they came into the world empty, and they also seek to depart from the world empty. But meanwhile they are drunk. When they shake off their wine, then they will change their ways.
Okay.
Humanity sleeps in illusion, awaken sobriety of spirit.
Nice.
That's a good one. You know how many times, dude, and I know he's not necessarily only talking about people being drunk or whatever, but how many times people like are going through a really hard time? They're like, oh my God, I can't wait to go home and have a drink. Oh my God, I can't wait to smoke a blunt. You're stressing me out. And it's like, dude, those things, they're covers. You know, like they're not actually helping you through anything. They're helping you forget about that thing. And so you're only trying to push it to drown it down. You want to drown it and push it down. I want to try and forget about it. But meanwhile, that shit is going to come back up to the top and you're going to have to deal with it one day. And if you don't, then I hate to say it, but a lot of people, that I've listened to, Dolores Cannon, amongst many others, Bashar, say that like, dude, that's the root cause of like cancer and sickness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You let that fester, dude. Your body is going to listen and be like, oh, okay. That's the reality you want, That's why I stick to the drugs that amplify my problems so that I can examine them better,
I mean, it's
I
not
can
to
stare
say,
into the shadow.
I mean, and it's not even to say that drugs and alcohol and all that shit are inherently evil and bad. And I think it's a lot like money. It's like it's the love of them that is the issue. Like whenever you're heavily relying on them, how many people that they have all the money in the world, but they are some of the most poor in spirit.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and some of the people, it doesn't matter. Like you want to have a little nightcap, a little drinky poo at the end of the night. I don't think that's not what he's talking about. What he's talking about is drowning your sorrows. You're not, if you drown your sorrows now, like good luck, because that's going to be a lot to handle all at once one day.
Well, because they're going to sprout up eventually.
Yeah.
You run out of wine, then what?
Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, that is a marvel. But if spirit came into being because of the body, that is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. Oh,
let's break that down. That's kind of reminding me of the consciousness coming first situation.
But
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Matter is a condensation of spirit. Realize spirit's primacy.
Wow.
He's saying your spirit came before your human fucking body, which is what we've been trying to cover, as far as panpsychism, pantheism, the
consciousness sprouting the physical reality.
Yeah, that consciousness creates the brain, not the other way around.
Right.
People get that twisted. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
But he goes, yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. Basically saying that like, it's already like a miracle that your spirit is in this body. And yet you're still of a poor spirit. You don't even know what you got. You hit the fucking jackpot.
You don't even know, dude.
You hit the lottery and you're walking around like you're broke.
Right. Yeah. Go figure.
It's just crazy. Jesus said, where there are three deities, they are divine. Where there are two or one, I am with that one. Oh, that's a good one. Number
break
30.
It down for us. Can you break that down for us?
Unity attracts the Christ presence. Division veils it. So where there are three deities, they are divine. It's usually, all divine things come in threes. Where there are two or one, I am with that one. Basically to say that like that Christ consciousness, that inner spark is always around. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter. You got 7 gods, you got 8 gods, you got 9 gods. I'm one of them because I ain't leaving.
Right.
I'm eternal, Right. Jesus said, no prophet is welcome on his home turf. Doctors don't cure those who know them. No prophet is welcome on his home turf. Oh, I get it. Okay. Jesus was not understood where he grew up in, where was it? Bethlehem? No, it wasn't Bethlehem. It was Nazareth. So he was not like accepted because they were like, oh, dude, you're just a woodworker. Like, what, you're going to try and stand there and preach to, like, we know who you are, right? And so, basically, he's saying that familiarity blinds people to revelation within themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
No matter what, even your own kids are going to just see you as their dad, not somebody that's a podcaster or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just going to see you as that.
That's just normal to them.
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah,
and it's funny because you hear of like older veterans like within the NFL, right? And to where they had kids, maybe whenever they were, towards the end of their career. I mean, usually most careers are done by 29, 30, something like that, right? And they'll say that like, man, their kids really don't know who their dad is. Because that they've always been around it. Like they grew up in that. They don't know that he's some famous quarterback that, won MVP and won a Super
Hall
Bowl.
of Fame and
They just know that's their dad. It's not really that special. That's their dad.
Right. Exactly.
So Next, we have Jesus said, a city built on a high hill and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. All right. So consciousness rooted in truth is unshakable.
Nice.
Makes sense. Next one, the 33rd one. Should be an important one.
Yep.
I already know it's going to be important. So, what you will hear in your ear, in the other ear proclaim from your rooftops. After all, no one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, nor does one put it in a hidden place. Rather, one puts it on a lampstand so that all who come and go will see its light. Inner revelation must shine outward. The secret truth becomes living word. So,
love it.
Yeah. Put that lamp out. That lamp is usually the inner
Put
spark.
that lamp out. Right.
Yeah. That, if therefore thine eye will be single, the inner, it's like the eye is the lamp of the soul, right? Like the lamp of that whole thing. And that's what they call, like, even the 7 chakras. They're all like energetic light centers within your body. And so it's like, look, whenever you're firing on all 7 cylindrical chakras, like, you're not going to hide that. Like, that's just going to shine out so hard. Next, we have Jesus said, if a blind person leads a blind person, both of them will fall into a hole.
Damn.
So seek awakened guidance. Ignorance cannot illuminate ignorance.
Makes sense.
The blind leading the blind. Every Sunday.
Don't be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, buddy. Jesus said, one can't enter a strong man's house and take it by force without tying his hands. Then one can loot his house, which means blind the ego before freeing the soul's treasures.
Sometimes you just gotta blind that bad boy. You don't know what's going on.
He's saying, like, and
the
fun
ego
thing,
was made up.
And that's the fun thing about these. It's that, like, all right, the most obvious, the most obvious way to interpret it would be literally, right? But that's not the way Jesus spoke. He never spoke literally.
Right.
He meant everything figuratively. And so whenever he's talking about you can't enter a strong man's house and take it by force without tying his hands. He's basically saying, like, you need to get a hold of your ego, because if your ego gets in the way, you ain't getting in there.
Right.
Damn, that's a deep one. Well
said.
Jesus said, don't fret from morning to evening and from evening to morning about what you're going to wear. It says, trust in the divine flow. Anxiety blocks the kingdom. Dude, we were kind of just talking about that.
Yeah, man, I tend to wear the same shirt, like, a lot. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to wear. I don't have to think about it.
I like what's comfortable.
Yeah, that's it, dude.
I don't wear no shirts that, like, go up against my neck. I can't stand it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I'm always wearing, like, a tank top or, like, one of these. I hate shit that is like, it feels like it's choking me.
I hate it more when the collar is, like, overly loose. You know what I mean? Like, it's just dangling. Like, it has to be somewhat up against the neck. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
You are a little
Probably.
weird. You are weird.
Yeah.
It's a compliment.
I knew it. Yeah.
His disciples said, when will you appear to us, and when will we see you? Jesus said, when you strip without being ashamed, and you take your clothes and put them under your feet like little children and trample them, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid.
Whoa.
So, shedding worldly identity unveils the naked truth of spirit.
Shed the ego, man.
Dude, come on now. Jesus said, and all of these say Jesus said. I don't even need to keep on saying that. They're all Jesus sayings. Okay.
Yep. Jesus said it.
He said that one, and that one, and that one.
And this one.
Often you have desired to hear these sayings that I am speaking to you, and you have no one else from whom to hear them. There will be days when you will seek me, and you will not find me. Basically saying that the truth is ancient. Only now are ears open to it. Yeah. So basically you're going to get to a point to where you're just constantly looking for Jesus. You're constantly looking for him. He's like, For the love of God, stop looking for me. I'm not.
For the love of my dad.
For the literally love of the Father. Like,
For the love of me. All
I'm
right.
trying to awaken something within you, not me. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just an example of it.
Right.
Here we go. The Pharisees and the scholars have taken the keys of knowledge and have hidden them. They have not entered, nor have they allowed those who want to enter to do so. As for you, be as sly as snakes and as simple as doves. Basically to say, dogma hides living wisdom. Reclaim direct gnosis.
Whoa. They can't figure it out, so they're like, you can't either.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it
Uh-uh.
seems like. Yeah, I mean, you're not
Right.
allowed to have a different opinion about Jesus
Right.
nowadays, bro. Well, I mean, always, really. I mean, dating all the way
Yeah.
back, we talked about the Cathars, but even before that. So it says, a grapevine has been planted apart from the Father. Since it is not strong, it will be pulled up by its root and will perish. To say humanity separated from source withers. You need to return to the root. Okay, so basically to say that you've drifted too far into the physical reality. You identify as physical. Your whole life is physical. He's like, you need to turn back a little bit and understand who you actually are.
Right. Quit playing the character. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Avatar is fun for a while, but you get tired of it after a while, you know?
Yeah.
How many people are saying, dude, I'm just so fucking tired of being here. Like, I don't want to commit suicide. I don't want to kill myself. I'm never going to do that. But
I'm just saying,
I'm
though,
just fucking
you know.
bored of this same old shit every single day.
Right. It's
And
because you're
it's
playing
like,
the character.
I mean, you're supposed to get bored of your avatar so that you do go
Right.
searching for deeper
Yeah.
meaning.
Right. Exactly.
Those who have something in hand will be given more, and those who have nothing will be deprived of even the little that they have. So to say, consciousness multiplies awareness. Neglect causes loss.
Okay.
That makes sense. Jesus said, be passersby. Oh. Be passersby means move through life unattached. The awakened are travelers, not settlers.
Just observe. All right.
Just be the old man on the porch. Be the old man on
That's
the
it,
porch.
watching
That's
the
it.
cars go by.
His disciples said to him, who are you to say these things to us? You don't understand who I am from what I say to you. Rather, you have become like the Judeans, for they love the tree but hate its fruit, or they love the fruit but hate the tree. Basically means that Christ speaks as the self within. Recognition brings revelation. I like it.
All right.
Jesus said, whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either on earth or in heaven. Oh.
We got to break that down.
Denying your spirit's direct voice blocks your redemption. Listen inwardly. Yeah, I mean, basically to say that, look, if you're denying that spirit, which is, people have different terms for what spirit actually means. Some people say, oh, it just literally translates to breath, or it just literally translates to wind. It's like, that's the message that you're receiving, I think. It comes, the message that you're receiving from the Father, from the source, it is, the messenger is the spirit, I think.
Right. It comes quietly,
Yeah. It's just a knowing. Yeah, here we go. So either on earth or in heaven. Okay, so Jesus said, grapes are not harvested from thorn trees, nor are figs gathered from thistles, for they yield no fruit. Good persons produce from what they've stored up. Bad persons produce evil from the wickedness they've stored up in their hearts, and say evil things. For from the overflow of the heart they produce evil. Saying that fruits reveal their source. Good comes from the awakened roots. Weren't we just saying that earlier? That like literally like if the fruits are sour, I don't care what the message is.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, dude. Nextly, we have from Adam to John the Baptist. Among those born of women, no one is so much greater than John the Baptist that his eyes should not be averted. But I have said that whoever among you becomes a child will recognize the Father's imperial rule and will become greater than John.
Mind of a child, dude.
So the old line of prophets ends. New birth is of spirit, not flesh. Oh, yeah. John the Baptist. He was fucking Baptist, right? So, yeah, it makes sense. Next we have a person cannot mount two horses or bend two bows, and a slave cannot have two masters. Otherwise, the slave will honor the one and offend the other. Nobody drinks aged wine and immediately wants to drink young wine. Young wine is not poured into old wineskins, or they might break, and aged wine is not poured into new wineskin, or it might spoil. An old patch is not sewn onto a new garment, since it would create a tear. That's pretty self-explanatory, but basically saying that you cannot serve two masters. Choose unity over your dual desire.
Okay. All right.
Which is interesting. He's talking about unity. So it doesn't necessarily mean, just choose one and not the other. Like choose your spiritual self and not your physical self. He's saying combine the two, make it one.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Jesus said, if two make peace with each other in a single house, they will say to the mountain, move from here, and it will move. So reconcile inner opposites. The house becomes holy. So your body and your mind will become holy. So you gotta bring both the body and the mind, the two selves together to make one. Yep. Kind of just repeating what he was saying earlier. Jesus said, congratulations to those who are alone and chosen, for you will find the Father's domain. For you have come from it, and you will return there again. So to say that those who stand inwardly alone merge with the source. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
All right.
I'll tell you what, dude, ever since I've been living over here by myself, I've been going so inward like all the time. That's all there is to do.
Right.
Yeah. It's,
find some interesting stuff in there, man.
Yeah, I mean, solitary has its ups and downs, There's goods and bads from it. You can find yourself falling or like falling into a pit of your own self. And then you can also find yourself like laughing at shit like that nobody said it, but you just thought of it and you're like, just laughing hysterically. I'm like, I'm losing my damn mind over here. Like the hermit,
Yep, exactly.
So he says, Jesus said, if they say to you, where have you come from? Say to them, we have come from the light, from the place where the light came into being by itself, established itself, and appeared in their image. If they say to you, is it you? Say, we are its children, and we are the chosen of the living Father. Damn, you see where he's getting it from now, right?
I think so.
If they ask you, what is the evidence of your Father in you? Say to them, it is motion and rest. Damn. So the answer from awareness. We come from the light and return to it. I like it. Wow. That's what he was saying this whole time. He's not saying that like I'm the son of all sons. There was only one chosen divine son. He's like, everybody has that in them. You can be chosen. And if you are chosen, if you feel as if you are chosen, everybody's chosen. It's up to you to decide if you're chosen or not. Like if you choose not to be chosen, if you decide not to be chosen, it's like, all right, well, now you're going to be looking up the saviors. Now you're going to be looking up the teachers. You're never going to become what Jesus was trying to, what Jesus became.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Of course, this is heretical, but.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You watch it. All right.
Seems harmless though, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Well, it's harmless to us, but the people of authority, you can understand why that's, a little bit offensive.
Yeah, you see why it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Having people think for themselves and, anyways.
Yeah, can't be having that.
No, dude.
His disciples said to him, when will the rest of the dead take place, and when will the new world come? He said to them, what are you looking forward to? What you are looking forward to has come, but you don't know it. Oh, man.
It's hard to see what's right here when you're always looking forward to the thing. You know what I mean? You're looking forward, but it's right here.
It says, awakening happens now. The new world appears when perception changes.
That's it, dude. We've been saying that for a minute now.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's like,
That's the shift.
this
you
is
know, that people
Gnostic
talk
shit.
about.
This is knowing. Somehow just
Mhm.
people just be knowing this shit. Nobody taught us this. You know,
Right.
like nobody told us about this. It was kind of just stuff that we stumbled across and we're like, you know what? That fucks.
That
It vibes
vibes.
hard.
That fucks.
You know,
Yeah.
like what is
Yeah.
that? Everybody
Yep.
has that capability within them. And if it was heretical, how have so many people awakened to it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know why.
It's
You know?
it's literally natural within you.
Mm-hmm.
If you go like, dude, it's the old saying, you know, whenever the teacher is ready, whenever the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
that teacher was always inside.
It's natural to some, but for some, they have to, take down some of the stuff that they've been fed. So it's not quite as natural to them.
Oh yeah, it's a
But-
deconstruction.
Yeah. Mhm.
Shout out
You
to
have
the
take that. You
deconstruction
have to
zone.
take. Yeah, you have to take that down first, and then you start experiencing things, more naturally.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
a dude, it's a brainwashing, you know, and it's so sad. You see it and it's like, man, you really bought this line and sinker. Like you
Mhm.
really are so dialed in. They got you in an early age. You think about it.
Mhm.
Kids are baptized in I was baptized as a baby.
Yep. I
they
was
almost
actually
had me.
baptized when I was young too. Yeah, and I wasn't even into church or nothing like that. It was just they just did that,
That's what you did.
and I had no idea what was going on. And
And dude, how silly is it? Like looking at it for the symbolism of what baptism is, to baptize a baby?
mhm.
It makes no
I
sense.
think I want to say I was like 7 or something like that. I
Even
had no
still.
7 or 8. Like I had no idea what was going on.
But
you know?
like what baptism represents, it means that you're literally being born again.
Mhm.
You're being born again.
Yeah.
If you don't
I already
understand
messed up too many times, like, apparently. Maybe I don't know.
If you don't understand the symbolism of baptism, whenever you go and get baptized, it's nothing more than just water.
Mhm.
It's like the whole idea of like, dude, we just talked about this on the cult the other day. I guess there was this one priest who just got so tired of like blessing holy water that he decided to bless a fucking spigot so that all the water that came out were already blessed water.
Oh wow. Well, he has that authority. You know what I mean? So he
Yeah.
can do that. I'm sure he can do that.
funny. Abracadabra, alakazam. You're
I'm
blessed
surprised
water
they didn't
now.
use like a super soaker or something like. All right, you're good.
That's what I would use.
They could do that too. I think.
I
Just bless
blast
the
you in
whole-
the name of the
whole
Holy
tank.
Spirit.
Right.
So silly. Yeah, it's and they'd just be making up their own rules.
Yeah, I mean they can. I guess they can do that.
Of course they can.
It's to each their own.
Whatever. So his disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and they all spoke of you. He said to them, you have disregarded the living one who is in your presence and have spoken of the dead.
Oh.
All sacred voices point to the same divine self.
Hmm.
He's saying, who gives a flying fuck if they're talking about my human flesh? That is not
Right.
the point.
Missing the point.
If they're talking about me, I want them to refer to me as the awakened spirit. Everybody has that capable within each individual, right? So whenever you talk about me, I want to be remembered as that. So if you're talking about my human flesh, you miss the point.
Right.
God, he was on one. His disciples said to him, oh, this is an interesting one. His disciples said to him, is circumcision useful or not? He said, if it were useful, their father would produce children already circumcised from their mother. Rather, the true circumcision is spirit has become profitable in every aspect. Wow. It means physical rituals mean little. Purification is of the heart, not of the flesh. Imagine dude, you ever look back at like how they used to do it back in the day?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, that's a dark rabbit hole, dude.
Is
like
it?
talking about circumcision. So the original like priests that used to do that, they would cut off the foreskin of a baby as you know, anytime you're given a circumcision. Dude, I didn't circumcise my son, by the way, because I was like, as soon as I found this out, I was like, I'm never doing that shit again. Like it makes no
Right.
sense. But I
Right.
didn't know this part of it. But
The
even
tradition.
still, so it was a tradition, but the tradition started where the priest would cut off the foreskin of a baby, and then he
Uh-huh.
would suck the blood off of the baby's dick.
Oh my god.
That's I'm not
Are
even
you
making that
serious?
up. That's real shit.
Oh
Suck
my
it off.
god.
Yeah. So keep on circumcising your kid and
Do what you want, you know.
do whatever. They're not doing that anymore, you know,
Right.
but that's how it
Well,
started.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some people. I don't know.
Dude, that's
And then
crazy.
it's really weird. I used to love Tim Tebow as he was a quarterback for the Florida Gators and then went and played for the Denver Broncos and shit like that. And I used to love him. Very, very devout Christian, right? And like has dedicated his life to the ministry and serving and, you know, helping out poor neighborhoods and going to different countries and doing all these things. And then I found out, dude, you know, he's literally going to poor countries and giving them all, he's circumcising them himself.
Oh my god.
What are you doing, Tebow? What are you doing, dude?
Wow.
Just be going out circumcising poor little African
curveball.
kids.
Wow. Because that's important. That's what we need to be focusing on.
Yeah,
That's strange.
so stupid. But literally what he's saying is that like, where was it that the material realm? Shit, I lost my spot now. But yeah, he was basically saying that like it does not matter. You're worried about like the physical body. Circumcision has nothing to do with the physical body.
Right.
Like get out of here with that.
Not how you were created.
Yeah. So that was 53. So yeah, physical rituals mean little. Purification is of the heart, not of the flesh. It's like duh when you hear that. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Kind of like when people have a problem with people getting tattoos. You know, it's like it's just the physical body. This body is gonna stay with the earth regardless of what really happens after death.
Unfortunately, my tattoos can't come with me. You know, I wish they could.
Yeah.
You know,
They're staying here. You know,
I mean,
and you move on to the next one.
Ants are going to eat it, unfortunately, one day.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
maggots are going to have their way with it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said, congratulations to the poor, for to you belongs heaven's domain. So inner poverty, emptiness of ego makes room for divine fullness.
Oh, emptiness of ego.
That's a good
I like
one.
it. I like it.
Jesus said, whoever does not hate father and mother cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not hate brothers and sisters and carry the cross as I do will not be worthy of me. So to say, detachment from inherited identity frees your true self-knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
He was
You
on
think
one.
about it, dude. So much of our identity has been inherited, you know, in one form or another.
100%. I mean, most people, they believe what their parents believe. You know, they believe what their brother or their sister
Or at least some
believes. Like,
version of that.
yeah, I mean, we're all suggestible, especially as kids. You know,
Yeah.
like if you really loved your dad, you saw him as a pious man, you saw him as a really good man. I'm going to believe what he believes because
Yeah.
he
He's
must
the man.
know. He knows.
Yeah.
Right?
The man. Right.
But he's just
Yep.
a man.
That's it.
Says, Jesus said, whoever has come to the world has discovered a carcass, and whoever has discovered a carcass, of that person the world is not worthy. Ooh. So it says the material realm is a lifeless illusion until it's animated by spirit. Yeah,
All
buddy.
right.
Yep. Jesus said the Father's imperial rule is like a person who has good or who had good seed. His enemy came during the night and sowed sowed weeds among the good seed. The person did not let the workers pull up the weeds, but said to them, "No, otherwise you might go to pull up weeds and pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest, the weeds will be conspicuous and will be pulled up and burned." So it says, the mind holds both truth and illusion. Discernment is the harvest. Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
So important these days, man. You know, just with all the videos you see, you don't even know what's real anymore. Like, it's funny because it's not so much, you know, when you would see a video and it just looked like AI, you know, and you're like, oh, that's AI or whatever. It's more so now, even when a video just starts and it's just, you're like, okay, hold on. Before I even get invested in this, is this real? You know what I mean? It's like, that's a trip. I never thought we would come to this, you know, questioning whether a video was even real at all.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I mean,
let alone just doctored.
I think actually, like big picture, that's actually a good thing. In a way.
You think so?
Yeah, in a way.
Because now you have to question everything you see.
You have to. Yeah.
Oh,
As you
right.
should anyway.
Right,
But like,
right.
dude, even I'm not going political whenever I say this, but there are videos of Trump speaking, and you can literally see that it is AI outlined. Like, that's no
Really?
joke. And it's his actual, documented speeches. But then you see him, like, he's sitting in the Oval Office, at the White House, and you can just look at his hands. And people have been trying to figure this out. And they're like, wait a second, this is fucking AI. And they're putting it out as news.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, that's
wild.
a trip. And that's exactly what I mean as far as like high profile people, that are making some kind of claim. It's like, okay, as soon as the video starts, you're already wondering if it's even real. And then you start to think about, people back in the day and history and who knows what was actually happening and this and that. Now we already have our own version of that, and we're right here with it. And even we aren't even sure. So it's like, who knows, man? I don't know. It's getting weird.
Well, and I think that it points to the truth is inside, not outside. That's what I was trying to say.
right.
Like, who cares if it's all fake and stupid and you can't trust it? Like, you shouldn't put all your trust outside of you anyway. Like, if you're trying to find the truth of it all, like what Jesus was saying, he's like, I'm just a man. I'm just like I'm just a vehicle. But inside, that's where I speak from. That's where the truth comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
Jesus said, congratulations to the person who has toiled and has found life. So to say that suffering refines awareness and opens the heart.
Interesting. We've made mention of that before. The whole idea of suffering coming before some type of anything really good. It's like, is it necessary? But I think I don't know if it's exactly necessary to experience something good, but I feel like suffering in general is something that's a guarantee at some point, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
I think even Jesus probably experienced suffering.
Dude, I saw something
at some point.
Bashar talking about this. I saved this video, but Bashar said, because somebody was asking him about depression. What do we do about depression? Is there something that we can do or whatever about depression? He goes, why are you tripping about depression? You need that. Like, he goes, depression, look at it in another way. Look at it like it's compression. Like, you're just compressing. And, everything, it's forcing you to go in. That's where you need to be doing your work at anyway. That's that fucking shadow work that you're literally you're forcing yourself into your own shadow work, is what he was saying.
Exactly.
I was like,
right.
wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. You're playing that character, like we mentioned before. And after so long, it's like a rubber band, dude. At some point it's going to snap. And then you got to fucking figure something out, get a new rubber band or fucking do something, right? Figure some shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's looking for a pill nowadays,
Yeah.
Which, and by the way, I was just looking this up. So the other day, whenever, what was I looking up? Oh, about consciousness, basically. And about like people with certain abilities, whether it's like telekinesis and stuff like that, right? I was talking about this on the cult. And what was it? Northrop Grumman, which is a part of the military-industrial complex that is pushing like the techno revolution, basically to say that like the transhumanism kind of revolution that is coming about, like merging yourself with machine.
Yeah.
And Northrop Grumman was saying, a lot of these people are never going to experience any kind of psychokinesis or telekinesis or anything like that. And so, but we're creating a machine that, and it's just a small procedure. All we got to do is just cut open just a little portion, cut out a little portion of your skull, and we'll insert this chip, and you'll be able to have telekinesis all day if you want.
No,
I was like, bro, we're going in the opposite direction now,
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird.
Like, the goal is for you to be able to discover that inside of you, not outside of you. They're trying to bring the outside inside.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I'm good on that.
No way.
I'm good.
No fucking
And then
way.
they're gonna have ads. It's gonna be weird, and you gotta pay the premium, like that one episode of
That was the Black Mirror episode. You watched it?
I didn't watch it all. I only watched half of it, and then I got busy, and then I just never revisited it. Dude.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a really.
I'm a
good
busy
one.
man, dude.
Yeah. Jesus said, look to the living one as long as you live. Otherwise you might die, and then try to see the living one and you will be unable to see. So to say that see the divine presence here and now, not after death. Oh, don't wait until you die to go to heaven. You can see that shit now, baby girl.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like so much of that experience is, preparing for death, preparing for, you want to make sure you get into heaven, and it's like you're missing the point, dude. We're supposed to be having that experience right now, and
Dude.
I don't think that that's crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want to experience that here?
They convince people to wait until death. And it's like, and they're buying it,
They're buying it.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
He saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb and going to Judea. He said to his disciples, that person around the lamb, they said to him, or it says ... that person ... around the lamb. I don't know what that's alluding to. It says, they said to him, so that he may kill it and eat it. He said to them, he will not eat it while it's alive, but only after he has killed it, and it has become a carcass. They said, otherwise he can't do it. He said to them, so also with you, seek for yourselves a place for rest, or you might become a carcass and be eaten. Man, he was just a wordsmith. Crazy. So, saying that only the awakened aspect survives the illusion. The unawakened fades.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If these are the things that he really said, it's no wonder though that a lot of people misunderstood what he was saying. Because even we're reading this now in 2025, and there are some of them that are just like over my head. And I'm just like, and then you break it down, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But the way that he said some of this stuff was like, no wonder so many people were like, what does he mean?
But I think that it's beautiful and poetic that he does it that way, because he's not trying to tell you the entire truth. He wants something inside of you to awaken so that you can eat it,
Just be the spark.
Right. He's almost like the teacher that doesn't want to give you all the answers. He wants that teacher wants you to work through the equation, figure out how to work it, and then become it. And so
that's the door so you can walk through it.
That's a real teacher right there. A real teacher is not going to give you the answers. Like imagine you go to school and you're having a problem on a test and you go, "Hey teacher, what's the answer to this one?" They're either going to tell you A, fuck off and figure it out, or B, like
help you work through it, or
they're just
show you the
try.
first step in the equation.
Yeah. I think that's all Jesus was trying to do. Oh, this is an interesting one. Jesus said, 2 will recline on a couch. 1 will die and 1 will live. They had couches back in that day?
I don't know. I was just thinking that though.
Salome,
recliners, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe it was like bedrock recliners or some shit.
Yeah, dude.
But Salome said, "Who are you, mister? You have climbed onto my couch and eaten from my table as if you are from someone." Jesus said to her, "I am the one who comes from that is whole. I was granted from the things of my Father. I am your disciple. For this reason I say, if one is whole, one will be filled with light, but if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness." Right? That's saying that Jesus speaks as wholeness itself, and integration is the path.
Okay.
All right. Jesus said, "I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries." Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So the inner truth reveals itself only to purified intention. Yeah, checks out. Jesus said, there was a rich man who had a great deal of money. He said, "I shall invest my money so that I may sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouses with produce, that I may lack nothing." These were the things he was thinking in his heart, but that very night he died. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. So it says, attachment to possession blinds us to the invitation of spirit.
Okay.
Yep. Jesus said someone was receiving guests. When he had prepared the dinner, he sent his slave to invite the guests. The slave went to the first and said, "My master invites you." The first replied, "Some merchants owe me money. They are coming to me tonight. I have to go and give them instructions. Please excuse me from dinner." The slave went to another and said, "My master has invited you." The second said, to the slave, I have bought a house, and I have been called away for a day. I shall have no time. The slave went to another and said, my master invites you. The third said to the slave, my friend is to be married, and I am to arrange the banquet. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me from dinner. The slave went to another and said, my master invites you. The fourth said to the slave, I have bought an estate, and I am going to collect the rent. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me. So he's going up to all these people, and they all got shit to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The slave returned and said to his master, those whom you invited to dinner have asked to be excused. The master said to his slave, go out on the streets and bring back whomever you find to have dinner. Buyers and merchants will not enter the places of my father. Whoa. So to say that those who misuse the world's gifts lose them, stewardship is sacred. Oh, okay. So he was trying to bring people in and bring people in. They weren't having it. So he was like, look, keep on trying then. Like, don't just give up. If everybody got something to do, there's always somebody out there that doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
He said a person owned a vineyard and rented it to some farmers so they could work it, and he could collect its crops from them. He sent his slave so the farmers would give him the vineyard's crop. They grabbed him, beat him, and almost killed him, and the slave returned and told his master. His master said, perhaps he didn't know them. He sent another slave, and the farmers beat that one as well. Then the master sent his son and said, perhaps they'll show my son some respect. Because the farmers knew that he was the heir to the vineyard, they grabbed him and killed him. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. Whoa. So those, oh wait, I was reading the one before. Oh, yeah. So the one before, okay, I said that those who misuse the world's gifts lose them. Stewardship is sacred. The one before was distraction keeps people from awakening and few answer the call. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, moving on. Number 66. Ooh. Jesus said, show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the keystone. So what the ego dismisses, inner stillness becomes the cornerstone. It's that meditation right there.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus said, those who know all but are lacking in themselves are utterly lacking. So to say that outer knowledge without self-knowledge is emptiness. Jesus said, congratulations to you when you are hated and persecuted, and no place will be found wherever you have been persecuted. As to say, opposition tests authenticity. Truth stands apart from approval.
Damn.
You don't need to be approved by anybody.
Right.
Jesus said, congratulations to those who have been persecuted in their hearts. They're the ones who have truly come to know the Father. Congratulations to those who go hungry, so the stomach of the one in want may be filled. 69 says, inner conflict and shadow work precede illumination.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nope.
Just on one right here.
How did he know?
I think everybody has that ability, you know? Jesus said, if you bring forth what is within you, you will have, what you have will save you. If you do not have that within you, what you do not have within you will kill you. This is one that is always quoted from the book of Thomas.
Yeah.
So to say that salvation is self-realization, express your divine essence. Yeah, it makes sense. Jesus said, I will destroy this house and no one will be able to build it. Says the false self must fall before the true temple arises. A person said to him, tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me. It means worldly inheritance distracts, seek treasure of spirit. Yeah. He said to the person, Mister, who made me a divider? He turned to his disciples and said to them, I'm not a divider, am I? Jesus said, the crop is huge, but the workers are few. So beg the harvest boss to dispatch workers to the fields. So it says, many souls sleep, few work in the field of consciousness. He said, Lord, there are many around the drinking trough, but there is nothing in the well. Which means people gather near truth, but fear plunging into direct experience. Yeah, you always get a little testy. And right before you're about to trip, you're like, oh, I don't know. Is it time? I don't know.
You don't know what's in the abyss, dude. You know?
It's deep waters.
Hmm.
Jesus said, there are many standing at the door, but those who are alone will enter the bridal suite. Oh. So union with the divine is an inward solitary mystery, the sacred marriage of soul and spirit.
Okay.
I like it. Jesus said, the Father's imperial role is like a merchant who had a supply of merchandise and then found a pearl. That merchant was prudent. He sold the merchandise and bought the single pearl for himself. So also with you, seek his treasure that is unfailing, that is enduring, where no moth comes to eat and no worm destroys. 76 is trade everything for the single truth. Ultimate realization outweighs all lesser pursuits. Like Odin, plucking that eye out for knowledge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jesus said, I am the light that is over all things. I am all. From me all came forth, and to me all attained. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift up a stone, and you will find me there. It's number 77 that says, Christ consciousness is the universal light animating every form. Yeah, buddy. Jesus said, why have you come out to the countryside? To see a reed shaken by the wind, and to see a person dressed in soft clothes like your rulers and your powerful ones. They are dressed in soft clothes and they cannot understand truth. It means stop seeking outwardly. The prophet you search for is within.
You can see the common message here. You know what I mean? You can really see what he was trying to tell people.
It's inherent within literally every single one of these.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
A woman in the crowd said to him, lucky are the womb that bore you and the breast that fed you. He said to her, lucky are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there will be days when you will say, lucky are the womb that has not conceived and the breasts that have not given milk. So to say that physical lineage matters less than spiritual receptivity.
Okay.
So all the people that are like obsessed with bloodlines, he's like, dude, forget your fucking bloodline. All right, it goes beyond that.
Yep.
Jesus said that whoever has come to know the world has discovered the body, and whoever has discovered the body of that one, the world is not worthy. Ooh. So it says awareness of embodiment without attachment frees the soul. Without attachment. Yeah.
Oh, we know this.
Jesus said, the one who has become wealthy should reign, and the one who has power should renounce it. So to say that inner wealth, spiritual maturity, rules over outer life.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, all these are banger quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever near me is near the fire, and whoever is far from me is far from the Father's domain. That one is understandable. Jesus said, images are visible to people, but the light within them is hidden in the image of the Father's light. He will be disclosed, but his image is hidden by his light. Oh, so it says, see beyond appearances. Every form conceals divine radiance.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. Every form conceals the divine radiance. Yeah, because whenever you're looking at somebody, it's not like you can just see, not everybody can see an aura. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, not everybody can see that there's like literal, like divine spiritual light within each individual. So if you're only judging them for their form, like you're missing it.
Right. Yeah. When you look at somebody, it's really easy to just see another person. Right. But inside that other person, they're having an experience similar to you as far as like, it's all it's all for you. You're having this big experience. You're looking around, you're seeing this and you're tasting that. And that person is capable of that too, but you just see another person. You know, and you kind of miss it.
You do miss it.
That person has dreams when they go to bed, and that person, has epiphanies, and that person loves people, and that person, you know what I'm saying, has things that they don't like and everything. But you just look over and go, oh, that's Jim. Yeah,
that's whenever people are like, dude, like instead of looking, especially for like the womanizers out there, which I don't really have any room to say anything on that, but they'll say that like, instead of looking at a woman as just a woman or just a sexual thing or whatever, look at them like that's somebody's daughter.
Right.
Like look at him in
Mhm.
that sense through a different light.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get it. Jesus said, images are visible to people, but the light within them is hidden in the image of the Father's light. He will be disclosed, but his image is hidden by his light. Whoa.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what we just read that one, I think, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to read it
Mhm.
over. Jesus said, when you see your likeness, you are happy, but when you see your images that came into being before you and that neither die nor become visible, how much you will have to bear! Exclamation.
Wow.
He said, self-recognition across lifetimes or dimensions leads to awe and transcendence. By the way, like the Cathars and the Gnostics, they believed in reincarnation. Like,
Of course.
I don't even want to say believe,
Of
like they
course.
knew the reincarnation
Right.
was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus said, Adam came from great power and great wealth, but he was not worthy of you. For had he been worthy, he would not have tasted death. Says, potential awareness leads to fall. Power must awaken.
Hmm.
Adam. That's like Adam and Eve, like first man, allegedly.
Right.
Jesus said, foxes have their dens and birds have their nests, but human beings have no place to lie down and rest. Which means ego has shelters in illusion. The awakened have none. Pure freedom. Jesus said, how miserable is the body that depends on a body, and how miserable is the soul that depends on these two. Wow. So to say that attachment to physicality binds the spirit, reliance must shift inward.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said, the messengers and the prophets will come to you and give you what belongs to you. You in turn give them what you have and say to yourselves, when will they come and take what belongs to them? What he's saying is that the inner messengers deliver forgotten wisdom when you're ready. Oh, yeah, baby. Yes. Jesus said, Jesus said, why do you wash the outside of the cup? Don't you understand that the one who made the inside is also the one who made the outside? Oh, baby. Outer purity is meaningless without inner cleansing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, still take a bath though,
Yeah. Deodorant doesn't hurt,
You got to be extreme in some of your teachings, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We only got a few more here, like 24 more. Jesus said, come to me, for my yoke is comfortable and my lordship is gentle, and you will find rest for yourselves. So the true union lightens the load, and divine alignment brings ease. Yep. They said to him, tell us who you are so that we may believe in you. He said to them, you examine the face of heaven and earth, but you have not come to know the one who is in your presence. You do not know how to examine the present moment. Oh. Imagine he's just always coming up with these bars on the spot.
Of course.
Probably
of course.
was.
Just that gnosis.
It says, faith without transformation is empty. Live what you claim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are scared to do that.
They're missing out.
Missing out big time.
I think.
Jesus said, seek and you will find. In the past, however, I did not tell you the things about which you asked me then. Now I am willing to tell them, but you are not seeking them. What he's saying is that understanding comes only when consciousness matures enough to receive it. And they're putting kids in church at babies. You know what I mean? It's like, it makes no sense. Oh, here's a good one. Don't give what is sacred to dogs, for they might throw them upon the manure pile. Don't throw pearls to pigs, or they might ... it. It says, sacred truth must be shared with discernment. Misuse profanes it. That's what the Cathars were saying.
The dude that I talked to at work, super old school, but I was starting to tell him something kind of like how I look at things, and instantly he went into talking about his belief and then told me that he's not going to tell me about his beliefs anymore because in the Bible it told him it said that not to throw your pearls to swine because they'll just step on it. And I was like, what? I didn't even bring up your belief. I was actually for once trying to tell you what I believe or how I see the world.
It's
and
inverted.
it was insulting. You know what I mean? The way he said it was just like, look, I'm not going to tell you anymore because
You're
you
just a fucking
obviously
pig.
don't understand the truth because, and that's why I was like, oh, so I'm a pig, or like, I don't know. It was just fucked up, because I was actually not questioning his belief. Like I wasn't doing that. Like he'll sometimes try to preach and try to say some things, and I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. And I tell him all the time, that I really appreciate his perspective and his beliefs and all of that. But he just like, as soon as I went to say, well, I think that this, and like I look at it kind of like this, and he's like, look, the Bible told me not to tell you anymore because it told me not to throw pearls to swine or whatever. And I'm
Don't
like,
cast the pearls to swine. Yeah.
all right, yeah, and I'm like, all right. I didn't even bring up Jesus. I told him, I was like, I was actually trying to give you my point of view for once, and that's fine. It's whatever, because it was incorrect. Is where he's coming from.
It's a
He's like,
touchy,
look, you're not getting it, dude. You don't know what I know.
it's a touchy
I'm like, all right,
subject, you know?
yeah. It's like, all right then, fine then.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, okay. That's fine. And look, I mean, it's rightfully, it's not our job to express what, that inner gnosis to people who are not open to accepting it.
Right.
That's the paradox of it.
But see, the thing that gets me is that like when I try to explain something that I think is really happening, or how at least how I see it, I'm not trying to say that he's wrong and that I'm right and this is the truth. Okay, listen to me because I know, but that's how he comes off, and it's just such a different, I don't know, relationship with whatever the spirit and divine and the bigger picture.
And
But,
that's something that even Jacob has gotten a little bit better at, I'll say, is that, he used to battle me on all of this shit, and he still does, but like, he's okay to just accepting that, like, I have a right to an opinion, and I have a right to express that opinion. And because usually it's triggering to people like that. You know what I mean? Like usually you mention something, it's like, oh my God, you're a heretic. You are to be condemned, and somebody you need Jesus is what you need,
Right.
And it's like, he's not doing that anymore. He's more so like, oh, that's an interesting thought, just accepting, and yeah, I see that as, first of all, I see that as like a real friend. A real friend will, at least accept, the way that you look at life, and almost be appreciative that there's a different perception going on.
Yeah, and like I said, I would always tell this guy like, hey man, I really appreciate your perspective. I really appreciate just your understanding of things, because I think that's how it's supposed to be, dude. Like you're allowed to have your own belief, but don't tell me that everything that I say is completely incorrect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you that you're incorrect. I can say, yeah, I just don't see why God would throw you in hell and this and that. I can say that because I just don't understand. But, maybe I just need Jesus. Maybe I am wrong. You know what I mean? But I appreciate the contrast, and for the most part, we have a great, like, we work together. We're laughing all the time with each other and everything else. But it's like, man, as soon as I started to talk about my own truth, what I feel is right, it's like, fuck, man, I think that's ingrained too into that belief system, is to know that, well, this is the truth, so if someone else says something different, then, the devil's working through them and they're challenging you. They're challenging your belief, and I guess if that's what I gotta be to people, then maybe, I'm still here for a reason, right?
I mean, hey, even the trickster plays a role,
That's right. Yeah.
The devil plays a role. Demons play a role. That's why, that's why we did that whole episode on the shadow. The identity of the shadow within all the different like evil archetypes is that like they all play a role. You can look at them as evil and be scared of them. That's fine. You're not going to grow from it. But if you find out what they're here to do, here as in like within your mind at a certain period of time, everybody's, you feel like you're being tempted, or you feel like you're going down the wrong path, whatever. It's like a lot of people want to express that blame outwardly. That's on the devil. That's the devil trying to deceive me, whenever it is you. It's like, that's your ego getting in, like in front of your spirit or your soul at that point.
Yeah.
Um,
There has to be the antagonist. You know what I mean? There has to be the kukui, if you will. You know, the bad
hey,
guy.
yeah,
So
dude. Yeah, everybody got that Joker, but it's interesting because it's like the demiurge has really expressed themselves on them.
right. Exactly.
Like that's really demiurge mentality. If you
Yeah.
think about it, like
It's
the demiurge wants, if you look at it from the angle or the perception of the demiurge believes that he created everything. The demiurge doesn't know that even he was created. And so
Right.
the demiurge believes that every human that follows him is worthy of salvation and worthy of all the divine blessings that he can bestow upon all of his followers. But fuck everybody else, even though he knows that he created everybody else, but they're not followers, they're not worshipers, they're not worthy, right? And so that mentality is expressed among like all of the believers now too. It's imprinted on them, so much so that they now are taking on the mind of their master. If you want to look at it from
Right.
that's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, when I think of the demiurge though, like how does the demiurge even have power at all? You know, wouldn't the demiurge be a creation of people? You know
Well,
what
and
I mean?
that's what I'm saying is, you don't even want to really take it literally. Like it's, look at the demiurge as an archetype. It's just an archetype mentality.
Right.
It's just like
And so the
the fool is not a real person. It's just an
right.
archetype. And so the demiurge is the same thing. So the demiurge,
Right.
these are people that believe and worship a false god, and a false god would
Right.
express these teachings, right? And would express these laws, and this is how you should live, and all of that. So they believe in it's all fictional, right? Like it's not fictional, it's just allegorical. And so if
Right.
you look at it like these people are worshiping a false god, in the same sense of like people who used to worship fucking Osiris, people used to worship Odin and all these different characters. Like they're just archetypes. Like there's something to lean on that is invisible.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and they're worshiping something that's outside of them. Jesus was like, stop worshiping something that's outside of you. That's what they're doing. They're worshiping the demiurge, so to say, which is not real, right? And what he's saying, the real shit is in you. Like, don't look anywhere else. Like all that other shit is just fictional. Like that's your mind.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how I interpret it anyway. I could be
sure.
wrong, but I don't know. I feel like, as many episodes have we done, I feel like that there is a bit of gnosis that is being expressed and figured out a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's where that whole, change yourself and you can change the world, really comes into play. Because if I just sit there and like hold some sort of grudge because this guy just almost looks down on me, or I don't know, like feels sorry for me that I don't understand the truth or whatever. It was like that's the energy that he was putting off, was like, well, I'm sorry, but you just don't get it type of mentality. And so I guess my role in that is just going to be, okay, he has his belief. He knows that to be true. And I'm just going to let him be, and maybe I just can't express what I think to be true, but that's the thing, man. I really enjoy those deeper conversations, like that's where it's at, and I don't know. Anyway.
Some people just don't like being challenged. I think that it's like, that's honestly like why I love Jacob, because he's open to a challenge all the time, and like he's like, look, I'm going to explain my point of view and then we can go back and forth with it. That's cool. But like, man, we learn off of each other when we, are opposition to
For
each
sure.
other.
For sure. Definitely.
Like you need that. Otherwise you're in an echo chamber and you're not learning shit.
Yeah, you become stagnant.
Yeah, dude. Nextly, all right, we're going to get back to it. It says, one who seeks will find, and for one who knocks, it will be opened. Oh yeah. So it says,
I think manifestation all day long when I hear that, just how I interpreted that,
yeah, well, it says persistence awakens realization. Every seeker meets the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, exactly, dude. I always think of, like the people that think that, and maybe they are doing it. I don't know. I'm not, superly into conspiracy theory, but the people that see airplanes throwing the smoke out the back or whatever, like in their mind, they think they're being poisoned, and so if their consciousness points their attention to that, then they're going to believe that and almost take it on, and it's like,
Whether
know.
it's real or not, they've accepted it, and so now their mind and their body is going to be acting accordingly as if they're
Right.
being poisoned. I get what you're saying.
Right.
I
And
mean,
now they're gonna see it all the time. Every time they look, oh, there's another one. You know what I mean? It's gonna present itself a lot more.
and
Because
and
they're
it's
choosing to accept that.
it's irregardless of if it's blowing out poison or not. It's the allegory of like if you
point, yeah.
believe it and
Right.
you kind of succumb to it, then that is how your whole essence is going to be made up of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says, so it says every seeker meets the mirror. So that just reminds me of Rumi, where he's like, I tried to find God and all I found was myself, and I
Yeah.
tried to find myself and all I found was God.
I love that one. Yeah.
Dude, it's a deep cut. It says, Jesus says, if you have money, don't lend it at interest. Rather, give it to someone from whom you won't get it back.
Mhm. Like almost lend it to somebody without the expectation of them giving it back. I think that sets you free.
It says, give freely. Generosity aligns with the divine flow.
Right. Instead of sitting there going, that guy still owes me $25.
Yeah.
Just assume he's never going to give it back and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And now you're free of that.
It's paper money you're not bringing with you after death anyway.
One less attachment. Yeah.
Jesus said, the Father's imperial rule is like a woman who took a little leaven, hid it in the dough and made it into large loaves of bread. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. So to say that awareness leaks away through distraction, stay conscious or lose the treasure.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Love
harder. It's hard to do that. It's a real practice because I mean, you think about it, like you have to really pay attention for your awareness, right? Most people are just like, they always say like a man, like if a woman asks like, what are you thinking? Most of the times a man will just say nothing. It's
Not a
because
whole
like
lot.
we have a whole nothing box that we're just like,
Yeah,
that's
we
our
do.
comfort zone. I just want to live in nothing for a second,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's more convenient and more at ease and to just be nothing and think nothing. And what I'm saying is that awareness sometimes takes some energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not
absolutely.
constantly there to remind yourself and to bring it back and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus said, the Father's imperial rule is like a woman who is carrying a jar of a meal. While she was walking along a distant road, the handle of the jar broke and the meal spilled behind her along the road. She didn't know it. She hadn't noticed a problem. When she reached her house, she put the jar down and discovered that it was empty. These fucking stories, man. He goes, same lesson is repeated. Careless attention spills rich spiritual wealth rather. That's what he's saying. You gotta don't go to your nothing
pay
place.
attention to it.
Stay attention. Stay here in the present.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. We were just talking about that. Jesus said, the Father's imperial rule is like a person who wanted to kill someone powerful. While still at home, he drew his sword and thrust it into the wall to find out whether his hand would go in. Then he killed the powerful one. It says, inner mastery requires courage. Conquer the strong ego within. Yeah, dude. I knew it was going there.
Yeah.
The disciple said to him, your brothers and your mother are standing outside. He said to them, those here who do what my Father wants are my brothers and my mother. They are the ones who will enter my Father's domain. Oh, I can't wait to hear that one. It doesn't say it. No. Picked up from the wrong one. Okay. But yeah, that's a different one. Your brothers and your mother are standing outside. He said to them, those here who do what my Father wants are my brothers and my mother. They are the ones who will enter my Father's domain. So I think what he's saying is that his brother and his brothers and his mother, I could be wrong, but maybe they get it. They get that they're acting on the Father's behalf or the source's behalf. And so then they will enter the Father's domain because they're already living there, maybe.
Not sure.
They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, the Roman emperor's people demand taxes from us. He said to them, give the emperor what belongs to the emperor, give God what belongs to God, and give me what is mine. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. So what he's saying here is render illusion to illusion. Keep the spirit untaxed by the world. Next says, whoever does not hate their father and their mother as I do cannot be my disciple. Ooh.
As I do.
Yeah. And whoever does not love father and mother as I do cannot be my disciple. So he's saying that he loves and hates his parents. Well, at least from the allegory. I'm sure we're not supposed to take it literally.
Yeah.
For my mother, ... but my true mother gave me life. So, I see. Release your family conditioning. Divine identity surpasses lineage.
Okay.
There we go. I knew it was going to be something like that. Jesus said, damn the Pharisees. They are like a dog sleeping in the cattle manger. The dog neither eats nor lets the cattle eat. Or the cattle eat, rather. So, damn, I'm getting lost on my place over here. Oh, here we go. Religious hypocrisy blocks access to truth for self and others. Yep. Yeah, buddy. Damn the Pharisees. He's saying that, look, they don't even practice what they preach. Like, why are we going to listen to them?
Yep.
Jesus said, congratulations to those who know where the rebels are going to attack. They can get going, collect their imperial resources, and be prepared before the rebels arrive. So to say that you need to guard your consciousness, be alert of thoughts that steal your inner peace.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
See how much of a different story it is whenever you don't take it literal?
Yeah.
Like, of course, if God came down in the flesh, I feel like he would talk like that. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
If that whole story is right. They said to Jesus, come, let us pray today and let us fast. Jesus said, what sin have I committed? Or how have I been undone? Rather, when the groom leaves the bridal suite, then let people fast and pray. So it says, empty ritual is futile. Authentic devotion arises from inner alignment. Yeah. Jesus said,
empty ritual, meaning basically doing some ritual just for the sake of doing it, rather than having an actual like intention behind it.
Yeah, don't do it to be nice. Don't do it because you have to. Don't do it
Right.
just because I'm here. You know,
Right.
he's like, yo, it should mean something. You know, authentic devotion arises from inner alignment.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Number 105, Jesus said, whoever knows the father and the mother will be called the child of a whore. So it says, a whore or a harlot, either way. It says, awareness of worldly origins without transcendence keeps one bound to illusion. Damn. Whoever knows the father and the mother will be called the child of a whore. Man, how you get that?
I don't know.
That's a deeper one. Jesus said, when you make the two into one, you will become children of Adam. And when you say, mountain, move from here, it will move. Means unite dualities, integration births divine humanity. Yeah, it sounds about right. Jesus said, the Father's imperial rule is like a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray. He left the 99 and looked for the one until he found it. After he had toiled, he said to the sheep, I love you more than the 99. Oh. So it says, each lost aspect of the soul is worth recovering. Oneness restores wholeness. That's a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus said, whoever drinks from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become that person, and the hidden things will be revealed to him. 108.
Okay.
It means absorb divine wisdom directly. Union with Christ consciousness transforms you. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus said, the Father's imperial rule is like a person who had a treasure in his field but did not know it. And when he died, he left it to his son. The son did not know about it either. He took over the field and sold it. The buyer went plowing, discovered the treasure, and began to lend money at interest to whomever he wished. 109, it says, awakening reveals the priceless treasure already within. Good one. Jesus said, the one who has found the world and has become wealthy should renounce the world. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah, I already know where it's going. 110. Mastery over material life leads naturally to renunciation.
Yep.
Yeah, can't bring it with you. Number 111, shout out.
Yeah.
Jesus said, the heavens and the earth will roll up in your presence, and whoever is living from the one will not see death. This is where they take you, right?
Yeah.
So will not see death. Does not Jesus say, those who have found themselves of the world is not worthy? So to say, all dualistic realms dissolve when you realize the eternal present. Damn. Jesus said, damn the flesh that depends on the soul. Damn the soul that depends on the flesh.
I hope he said it like that.
I hope so. A little behind it. It says, spirit and matter must balance. Neither should dominate. Head in the clouds, but the feet on the ground.
That's right. That's right. Balance.
Yeah. Disciple said to him, when will the Father's imperial rule come? It will not come by watching for it. It will not be said, look here or look there. Rather, the Father's imperial rule is spread out upon the earth and people don't see it.
Stop waiting.
What are you waiting for? So to say that heaven is here and now, ignorance blinds us to its presence.
Yeah.
It's pantheism.
Mm-hmm.
And the final one. Damn, we made it all the way.
Damn.
It's been one of our longer episodes. I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simon Peter said to them, make Mary leave us, for females don't deserve life. What a douche.
Whoa.
Jesus said, look, I will guide her. Oh, this is a very controversial one, but we'll get to it. Jesus said, look, I will guide her to make her male, so that she too may become a living spirit resembling you males. For every female who makes herself male will enter the domain of heaven.
Okay. We gotta
Before we even look at it,
expound on this.
What do you think, before we even get there, what do you think is going on there?
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of and I could be wrong. It's just the way that I see it, with a lot of the things that I've heard, in the Bible, it's kind of a boys club, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the women were always looked at as like less than, but I mean, I could be completely wrong. Why don't you?
You're not
enlighten me?
entirely wrong. It's about balancing your divine feminine and your divine masculine.
Yeah.
So it says right here, the final teaching is to transcend gender and polarity and realize androgynous unity of spirit.
What I was trying to explain was probably how they were taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
yeah.
he said it, the more literal understanding of that,
Oh, yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to the masculine and feminine aspects of in all of us, equally.
Right. Yeah, he's like, dude, why are you still talking about this physical shit? You're
Right,
like,
exactly.
You're so stuck
Yeah.
on this. He goes, like, male and female is a material thing. You need to unite the two and, unite your feminine consciousness and your masculine consciousness and make them balance each other out,
Exactly.
It says, across its 44 sayings, the Gospel of Thomas guides the seeker from outer belief to inner knowing, revealing that the kingdom is a state of awakened consciousness already present within. It aligns seamlessly with, it aligns seamlessly with the revelation chakra framework. Each insight raises awareness through successive levels of being until duality dissolves into the single light of Christ within.
Damn.
Wow.
That's all.
No big deal,
That's all.
dude.
Holy
Don't
shit. Don't
shit.
even trip.
So, all right, now that we've read that, there's a little bit more I wanted to touch on, and then we'll do our tarot card.
Sounds good.
So what we read isn't a gospel of belief. It's a manual for awakening. Each saying from Jesus is a code of remembering. Each phrase points back to a single realization that the kingdom of God is not somewhere else. It is consciousness itself. When Jesus says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you, he's describing spiritual alchemy, the transformation that happens when you awaken the divine spark within. That spark was called the Christos, the inner anointing. That's literally where it comes from. It's the Christos is anointed, or the anointed one.
Anointed
Christ.
one, right?
Yep. And it says, and that's exactly what the Gnostics lived by. To them, Christ was not a man to worship, but a mirror to awaken by. They believed the living Jesus never died because the Christ never could die. It is eternal light, reincarnating in every soul brave enough to remember. But that truth was dangerous to those who needed control, because if the divine lives in you, no pope, no priest, no king can mediate your salvation. You become a sovereign being, a direct reflection of the source. And so the church turned against the mystics, branding light as darkness and calling wisdom heresy. But you can't kill truth. You can burn every book, crucify every messenger, and still the light within will rise again because it lives in you. The Gospel of Thomas is that resurrection. It's the emergence of the inner Christ. It's not about worshiping the light. It's about becoming it. Every saying is an invitation to dissolve separation, to make the two one, to merge the human and the divine, the visible and the invisible. When you understand that, the illusion of the world begins to fade, and the kingdom appears, not as a place, but as a perception. Oh, yeah, baby. So this gospel isn't history. It's a mirror, and it's still peaking, or it's still speaking. Well, peaking too, I think, to those who have ears to hear. So the church may have killed the Cathars and the Bogomils and the Valentinians and everybody else who believed in Gnosticism, but it could never kill the knowing, because Gnosis isn't taught, it's remembered. Every soul that rediscovers the divine within keeps that lineage alive. It's the same current that ran through the mystery schools, through Hermeticism, through the teachings of through Buddha and the Tao. It's the same voice that whispers in your dreams saying, "Wake up, you were never separate." The Gospel of Thomas is not a doctrine, it's a doorway. And once you walk through it, you can never see the world the same again. The kingdom is within you, and when you know yourself, you will be known. Yeah, this is all about remembering. That is the point of Gnosis, is to remember.
Yeah, and to detach from all of the physical things, dude. You know, if you think about it, there's so many physical things outside of us that are happening that we have no control over. You know, I mean, you can say like, oh, if I put some good intentions out, you know, then everything's going to work out perfectly or what have you, you know, but it's like there are things that are going to happen no matter what that you are not in control of. But the one thing you are in control of is your inner peace, you know, that the inner self, the inner world. You know, you can choose to let somebody's words affect you, or, you know, so maybe somebody's ignoring you and you're like, oh, what's going on? And you're beating yourself up on the inside. And it's like, you are in control of that divine within you, you know? And,
yeah, you've accepted that punishment by, you know, by allowing that to resonate as a truth inside of you. Whenever somebody does you wrong, whenever you do your own damn self wrong, you are punishing you. You are judging you. That shitty feeling that you feel whenever something outside of you affects something inside of you, there's nothing wrong with, you know, letting it affect you for, you know, a little short time.
A moment.
Right. I mean, you don't want to just
acknowledge its existence.
Yeah, you don't want to turn off your feelings by any means. Like, that's not what this is about. It's about seeing it, understanding it, and then moving on. Because if you continue to linger on it, then now you're stuck on the past, and that's never a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very interesting, man. It's just a shame that type of message was kind of stomped out in the fashion that it was. You know, if we are to believe that all of this is true and all the things that were read off were things that Jesus said, and I don't even think that's the point. It doesn't even need to be something that actually happened, but the message itself is so resonant, as we were saying before. So, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that you were reading, man, seems like we kind of found out before even getting into that specifically. You know, it's just things that we come to understand about other people around us and the inner world and everything else. It's like, man, you know, everything is just a mirror of what's inside of you. And it's deep, dude.
Dude, that's the thing, is that we kind of discover that throughout all the different things that we look into. You know, that like that's the witchcraft talks about the same thing in most part. If you think about it, going back to the Magician by Philip Cooper, he was saying, look, you don't need this fucking sword and this chalice and all this shit. These are mental symbols for your mind. Like, you're capable of doing all of this without needing anything externally. Like,
Mhm.
how would that be possible if we didn't have something magical already within us? And the same
Right.
thing for the Tao, right? Like,
Mhm.
you meditate on the Tao. There is the one who can explain the Tao is putting the Tao in a box, and therefore you got it wrong if you think you got it figured out. It's an
Right.
you can't talk on it. Like, it's a
Mhm.
knowing, it's a feeling, it's a discovering. It's not something that can be said in words, only seen, in the mind and felt throughout the body and
Experienced and
experienced. Yeah. And
right.
that's the beautiful thing about it. But most people would rather worship a God that's outside of them. You think about it, it's actually kind of sad because they're giving up their own power to something else, to someone else, to
Yeah.
a religion, to a demiurge,
Right.
to something. And it's sad because you look at them and they think that we're just human.
Right.
We're just humans. That we don't have God within us. We're
Mhm.
just human. Don't you know that God created us in his image? It's like,
Yeah.
man, look at what you're saying.
It's
Like,
a gatekeeping, dude. If you think about it, if we are always connected to that divine source, the thing that we come from, whatever it is, whatever label you want to put on it, and somebody's telling you like, okay, well, hold on, let me see if I can pull some strings. Let me talk to the man upstairs and see if he can forgive you for your sins. You know what I mean? Like, are you serious? Like,
oh, dude,
really?
that's like, back in the day, they don't do it anymore, I don't think. But back in the day, the church was really pushing that your past loved ones were stuck in purgatory, and you could pay the church to get them taken out of purgatory and put up into heaven.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want to talk about a fucking scam, bro?
Mhm.
Like, you want to talk about literally profiting off of people's belief in you?
Mhm.
That's wrong. That's very wrong.
That's
but
ridiculous. And people did it, I'm sure.
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
well, how much is it going to cost? I don't want them to be in purgatory. Who wants their loved one to be in purgatory?
Oh, dude.
And so that's where they get you.
That's
They pull at your heartstrings.
And well, the same thing's happening with the tithe dollars. First of all, the tithe money, which is that little basket that they walk around and,
Yeah.
you want to donate and give your tithe to the church and stuff like that. Most of the time it is for like people to go on mission trips and, maybe a new classroom or something like that. I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with that. You want to donate
Right.
to the church for it giving to you freely. That's fine. But whenever you got fucking Joel Osteen and what's his face over in fucking Texas that is like,
Yeah.
oh, Tyler Perry sold me a jet. I had to buy it. He made it so cheap. It's like, had to buy it with what money, bitch?
That was pretty spot on.
Where did you get that money at?
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you're giving your money to the fucking demiurge at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
kind of what it
You're-
is.
Yeah. You're feeding into the system that's telling you that you're unworthy. Like basically. Like you
Yeah.
are not capable of having that conversation with God,
It's
by
beauty.
yourself.
It's Beauty and the Beast syndrome.
Yeah. Stockholm syndrome, right?
Stockholm. I always forget that term. That and the sugar pill thing.
Placebo.
Placebo. Why are those?
See, that's
those
the only
words
reason why I
never-
remembered them, I think.
Those words never stick in my mind for some
Yeah.
reason.
Sometimes I'll
Stockholm
just
and
take
placebo.
a Saturday and just sit there and go placebo, Stockholm syndrome, and I'll just repeat it over and over so that I don't forget for you.
I appreciate that.
No, I got you.
So Sean, what is that card, my good sir?
I got 2 today because why not? So we got the sun.
Oh,
Of course, we got the sun.
What?
Yeah,
Jesus,
the sun himself,
bro?
dude.
What?
Yeah. I got chills right now.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
The sun of all episodes.
Yeah,
Wow.
we
or,
don't get it a whole lot either,
or the source, shall we say?
if you will.
The sun reveals a clarity that comes only after we have spent time with the darkest parts of ourselves.
Mhm.
Oh my God. It just never ceases to amaze me. The sun signifies great clarity and the enthusiasm that comes after emerging from the darkness. An infant, arms wide open, rides on the back of a white horse beneath the bright sun. Bro, we were just talking about how Jesus came on the white horse.
Right?
And then babies, you need to look into the 7-day-old babies.
Mhm.
What are the odds?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Both representing the return of innocence, optimism, and freedom. A red flag flies nearby, symbolizing renewed passion and the presence of love. The sun itself looms on the horizon, huge and vibrant, representing the card's main message of clarity and illumination. A field of sunflowers in the distance reminds you that life blooms once again, and so will you. There is a sense of relief in this card and a reminder that every dark night has a new dawn. Wow. Unreal. It says you are feeling healthier inside and out after overcoming a period of sadness or illness. Consider pursuing some inner child healing work, perhaps by finding a new passion or engaging in a hobby you once loved.
Perfect. And then the second card, I don't know what you want to do with this one, but we also got the Emperor.
Get out of here, dude.
Which the thing I was thinking about was, what's that guy's name? You always bring him up, the one that worshipped the sun and or Sol and
Sol Invictus.
Victus. Yeah, the Emperor Emperor
Constantine. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I first pulled that.
Wow, the Emperor. Okay. The Emperor sits on his heavy throne, clad in armor beneath his robes. He is grounded yet ready for action at all times. You swear you're not fucking with me with this?
I'm not fucking with you, dude.
You
There's
swear
no
to
way
God.
I could have thought that up. Are you kidding me? Give me a break, dude. I couldn't have planned that if I wanted to. Right?
Bro, I legit feel like this is like confirmation from something. Like on real shit. Like this
No,
is
for sure.
This is
For
like
sure.
just so you know, like this is the craziest tarot reading we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
And
nothing.
well, that's why we're having two cards, because I wasn't planning on pulling two, and then once I pulled the Emperor, I thought of, you were talking about the Emperor Constantine and the sun behind him and everything else, and I was like, well, I got chills just talking about it.
Are you
So,
shitting me?
I'm not. I shit you not.
Oh my.
That's how you know I'm serious.
Right.
Right?
If somebody says I shit you not, you went there.
Yeah,
Man.
I did.
The odds of that happening are like 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Right.
Like no lie. Like
For this episode, those two cards. Right.
Of
Yeah.
everything that we talked about,
I know.
that's next level shit
I know.
right there. Like
Yeah.
it proves we're in a dream. Like we're living in the dream world.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
And
I think we are.
and the one who is controlling the dream just like gave you a nod.
Went like that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe a little wink even, just, you know what I mean?
You know what it is.
Well,
So it says symbolizing. So So he sits on a concrete throne adorned with rams, symbolizing his stability and connection to the astrological sign of Aries. The landscape behind him is barren, except for a stream of water flowing through the scene, representing emotion and intuition, which led him to take inspired action when necessary. He wears a crown, holds an orb. And a scepter representing his authority and power, and beneath his robe is armor that suggests that he is ready to jump into battle at any moment. Notice the colors in this card. Reds and oranges are symbolic of power, authority, and assertiveness in the material realm. Oh my God. Unreal. So
Just
the
don't
spiritual
stop, dude.
dude, this is like I don't even know. It's not like anything because I've never experienced it, you know?
Right.
The spiritual message says, tap into that active masculine energy, try utilizing affirmations of self-empowerment, give yourself permission to take up more space and become the authority within your life instead of deferring to others or valuing their opinions over your own.
Damn. The outside world, dude? Come on.
Bro, on some real shit.
There's
like,
no way I could have planned that just to get you. You know what I mean? Like, I somewhat understand the tarot, like very, very little when it comes to symbolic, you know what I mean? But I couldn't have planned that. You know what I mean?
believe you. I believe you. I know you wouldn't, but I kind of just had to like let everybody else know. Plus, like sinking into the realization of holy fuck, what just happened.
Yeah. Dude, I shuffled for a minute too until one finally popped out. And then the second one popped out like almost immediately after. So I was like, okay, 2 cards then, I guess, tonight, you know?
Oh my God.
Some cool shit, man.
Dude, that's like,
We're
that got
cooking
me
with fire, man.
That got me in the feels
Yeah.
right now.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad to
Goodness.
do it to
That was awesome.
you. It was.
I'm like,
That was a
Like, I don't have words right now.
You're just gonna be laying awake tonight.
So
Just
that's what I'm saying. It's like confirmation. Like on some
Right.
real shit. Like all jokes
Mhm.
aside, that's confirmation stuff right there.
Oh, seriously.
Like that was miraculous.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I feel like I'm not overextending by saying that.
No, I don't think so either, dude. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh my god.
It's just
dude.
it happens so frequently. I feel like, surely this one was above crazy.
That was
but,
doubly more miraculous than any other drawing we've ever done.
right.
Like double it.
Yeah. Normally I don't even pull 2 cards, but
No.
even when I pulled the Emperor, sure, I thought of the Emperor that you spoke of or whatever, the Constantine dude, but I was like, yeah, but I don't know how it's really going to play into this episode. I mean, I pulled him like 30 minutes ago, but dude, maybe it was about an hour ago. We've been going a while, actually. Might have even been an hour and a half ago, and I just, yeah.
I'm shook.
I'm
I am shooketh.
glad. I think
Wow.
we need those sometimes, just to kind of have that little reminder.
To bring you back.
Yeah. Like every time you see a little weird light in the sky and you're like, wait, what was that? Just one of those, just to kind of like, okay, some extra shit going on.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, so for like the first, I don't know, week or so that I was here, I didn't see any light, like orbs or anything like that up in the sky, right? Like, I wasn't seeing them. I was like, man, am I just like not connected? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then I talked to you on the phone, and every single night since then, which was like a week ago, about, I've seen them in the sky multiple times. Like these orbs, and your logical mind is like, what if they're satellites? What if they're not really anything? But it's like,
Right.
And then legit, earlier today, Nick sent me a video from last night. Electro
Yeah,
Nick,
did you see that?
bro, that's
That
what we're
was
seeing.
Crazy.
That's what we're
Yeah.
seeing. So
those
like,
are the ones that I know for a fact, and I was texting Nick about this, because sometimes, you see a light in the sky and it's moving just in a straight line. It's the light coming from it is very consistent, no change, in brightness or what have you. But when you see something like that, what Nick sent, that whenever we see something like that, that is like, okay, there's no way to talk that away. Like even if it was a satellite, and let's just say the rapid change in brightness or the flash is because for some reason the satellite is rotating and we're getting just a quick moment of extra glare coming off of some piece of the satellite. Okay, like that's how I was trying to talk that away. But that would be consistent. Like that flash you would think would be consistent like every few seconds, and you can kind of time it. Okay, there's something rotating, but I would imagine that satellites aren't supposed to be rotating. Wouldn't that kind of take away from the point of them having a clear shot at the Earth if they're continuously rotating around? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
yeah,
And I feel like there would be nothing to, unless they were thrown into orbit with a rotation, which just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense why they would do something like that. And
that's what I'm
so
saying. Like,
whenever you see a camera flash in the sky and then it gets real bright and then it goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away and then it's just gone. It's like, what is that?
yeah, I don't know. Like,
But
and
the other
that's-
ones that are consistent in the sky and they're going in a straight line with no change in brightness, I can say, okay, that's probably a satellite and be okay with it, But some of those other ones are just so unexplainable. Even those ones and Nick was talking about this too, where it'll just be in the blackness of the sky and then all of a sudden just one flash. And you're like, and then you don't see anything else after that. It's like, what was that? That's the most inconsistent thing you can think of.
Right. And I've kind of gotten to the point, especially with this episode, of like, it's cool if we're seeing something outer, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like to see something out in the sky, have it like, manifest like that in the physical reality. That's cool and everything. And if it is a satellite, whatever, if it's not a satellite, awesome. There's no way of us really knowing, right? Unless there's probably a satellite tracker you can download on your phone or something like that, which maybe we ought to do. But but either way, it's like, man, that awakening, you don't necessarily need to see a light in the sky to have an awakening. You know, it's
No.
nice because it reminds you that maybe you're on the right track and that not everything in the world is explained. And
Yeah.
if I'm crazy, then that's crazy and that's up there. Everybody sees it, you know, and
Right.
sometimes it's nice to have like that confirmation. But in reality, it's like, you know, why are we seeking so much confirmation?
Right.
You know, like I feel like somebody that is constantly seeking confirmation is nice. It's comforting, you know, it helps you feel like you're not crazy. But eventually I feel like you have to get to a point where you just know.
Right.
And you just trust it. And you don't worry if people are going to consider you crazy. You don't worry if you consider yourself crazy from time to time, because that gnosis within is like so here all the time that, you know, you don't need any kind of external validation at that point. So
Right. Like the Magician doesn't need the sword or the chalice and physical. They don't need it. It's there. It's cool when you have it, you know, at least in the beginning, you know, but after a while, you just kind of, you just know what it is, you know, and you just like, I'm not saying I know what that is in the sky. I have no idea, you know, but I don't even think it matters.
But you're
you know, I
cool
just think
with,
that
like-
it's something extra to let you know that there's something more that you don't know yet, you know, and it's up to you to investigate and to think about and to contemplate,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what an episode. And to end on that note, that's crazy. Yeah, Sean, what do you think about the Gospel of Thomas? Are you looking at it entirely different? Because, man,
It's
that is
interesting.
very different from what the church teaches, and somehow
Of
it
course.
very heavily resonates.
Well, yeah, it definitely resonates, and it definitely makes sense why, if any of it is true. Like I said, I don't know what's true and what's not when it comes to things that happened a long time ago that was written by men who were trying to just keep some type of control or power. You know, like I don't even know. But the point of it all is that it's really a shame that information like that was deemed heretical, blasphemous. You know, it's just, it's really a shame, man, because I don't think there's anything about me or anything about you or anything about anybody else that makes anybody better or worse than the next person. You know, like we all have that thing, whatever that is, call it consciousness, call it whatever you want, you know, but we all have these surreal experiences or the ability to love or whatever it is, you know. We're all having this crazy experience, and I feel like we shouldn't be trying to dim that in any way.
I agree. Well said, sir. Yeah, man, what an awesome episode. This was great.
Yep.
We'll definitely remember this one for a long time. I
Oh
think.
yeah, this is one of those.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, look, the one we're about to get over to our meditation. So thank you for coming to hang out with us this evening. If you want to be a part of that meditation, go over to patreon.com/metamystics. That link is down in the show notes below. If you sign up for an entire year, you get 3 months off. If you sign up for a week, you can get it for free. So a free week. And so you'll be able to join us even on the live shows. You can come join us if you want to just try like a free trial for a week. You can come join us for one night. And I mean, maybe just pop in for a minute and say we're heretical. That's fine. That's okay
Tell
too.
us where we're wrong if you want.
Tell us where we're
that's
wrong.
fine.
Yeah.
We need contrast.
Yeah, that's okay.
all.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I guess until next time, if the Gospel of Thomas came here and it taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird.
Bro, I don't know what is happening tonight, but that was like a pretty profound meditation I just had as well to add on
Was it?
top of the
Was it?
tarot. Yeah.
What happened?
Dude, so, you know, first couple minutes I was like, all right, let me get everything out of my mind. I just want to succumb to the music and I want to be able to match up to its frequency, right? Trying to just align to it.
Right.
And that was a sun frequency, 396 hertz, right?
Okay.
Which makes sense. Lines up with the tarot, lines up with Jesus's sayings and stuff like that.
Yep.
So there I was finally got everything out of my head, and it felt really strange. It was almost like it felt like a DMT trip. Like, all right, so whenever you first hit DMT, you feel like they talk about a blast off. That's what it feels like. You feel like you're traveling at light speed to a destination.
Wow.
That's like not even like I'm saying literally. It feels
best
like
way to
that.
explain that.
It feels like it, and it looks like it. Like you're experiencing acceleration at speeds your mind can't fathom, right? And then you get there, and so that's kind of what it felt like. But it wasn't like too fast for me to handle, but it was still moving at a pretty decent speed, you know? Yeah, it's almost like the Autobahn, you know, maybe you can go 100, 110, something like that. You feel like you're hauling some ass. Maybe you want to go 130, 140 if you got like a faster car or whatever, but you know, it's not light speed. So I felt like that, but it felt like I was on like a bullet train is what it felt like. But I can see like I was going through some kind of very well lit tunnel of sorts, right? And I can see each passing of the light, and I'm just going, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm getting faster, and like I feel like I'm not thinking this. This is just happening in my mind, right? And until it starts to like go at an angle, and I'm no longer going like straight, like parallel. I'm going up, right? It's almost like it wasn't like a 90-degree angle. It was more of like a ramp. I was slowly going up until I finally got there. And dude, I like emerged. I wasn't in a vehicle or a train. It's just what it felt like. It didn't feel like I was actually in a vehicle or something like that. Traveling consciousness, whatever you want to call that. And then I like rise up, and I'm like in this very perfect place to where it almost seems like fucking heaven on some real shit. Like what you would imagine heaven would look like, right? And it was like you would think that it would be like in the clouds, but maybe the clouds are normal. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It felt like the clouds were part of like just the nature of this reality. Like not up there in the sky, but they're like all around. You know what I mean? Almost like it's mist, like on the ground, but thicker mist kind of.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, I feel like I know what's about to happen. And then like Jesus emerges from behind these clouds, right? And dude, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of look like Electro Nick, but
of course,
but
I knew it.
Yeah. And I see him, he's just like smiling at me. And this is just a meditation, whatever. It's wherever your mind takes you. I don't know what to make of it. I'm just saying what I experienced. But he's like emerging from the clouds until he finally like walks completely out in front of me. And he's not saying anything. He's just like smiling. Like it's a proud smile, you know? And I was like, wait, what happened? Like, why are you like smiling at me like that? And he was like, dude, I'm not even making this up. I swear to God.
I believe you.
He goes, you got my message out.
Oh, that gave me chills, dude.
And I was like,
damn.
Are you serious? And he was like, yeah, they kind of like bastardized my word. And this is like, you did a good job. And I was like, yeah, but I kind of did it in my own way. And he goes, no, like your way is the perfect way. Not to say that like I'm the one or whatever, but he was basically just saying that like people know you and your voice and like how you think. And so the people that know you and how you think are going to resonate with the message. You know, it's not going to get caught up in like, you know, like you listen to like pastors and priests and Jesus said on the sixth day. It was He was like, no, like how you did it was just as good as if anybody else would do it, kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, all right. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense with the tarot reading. Then he goes, he was like kind of like a smirk kind of thing, you know. And then he like, dude, I got to look up the symbolism for this, but he pulls out like he like reaches up into the air, and then he pulls this dove, like this white bird. And he like is just holding it like down by like his belly button, but and by his belly button, he's holding it like this, right? Like, and the bird is like in his hands like this. And I can see this bird like getting charged up, like somehow charged is the best way I can put it. Like the bird is starting to like
Emanate,
gold,
glowing,
like
right.
gold thread almost is illuminating out of this bird.
Right.
And then he takes that bird and then he like throws it and just lets it fly away.
Right.
And I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, just wait. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm just going to hang with Jesus,
Hang with Jesus,
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, am I supposed to follow that bird or, you know, like, what am I, like, you just called that bird in, you held in, you know, like, this is what I'm thinking. And, he goes, just hold your horses. And, so the bird comes back and I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. I'm thinking the whole time, like, man, I really need to understand this symbolism because I don't get it yet. You know, like, I'm so worried that I don't understand the symbolism behind it. And dude, this is crazy. Takes this dove and shoves it into my chest. Like, just takes it and it like magically goes through my body and into my chest. Right. And now that it's in my chest, like, it's so weird because I could feel it. And this bird, and I'm like I can see it like third eye seeing it, you know, like I can feel it so much that I see it. And it's so weird, dude, because it was gold. And then I could tell the wings like started to spread open inside of me. Right. And I'm looking at these wings. And dude, it was almost like really, really buffered silver.
Okay.
Like imagine the most polished silver you can imagine. So much so that it almost looks liquid. Okay. Right? And I can see like the sharp edges of the feathers of the wings, right? And then it just like I don't know, like cut open and burst. Like in that energy of that bird just bursted throughout every single cell of me.
Wow.
I don't even know how I can remember every single detail of this.
Oh.
Like, because normally it fades away, right? But like, and then I was looking back at Jesus. He was like, all right. And that's whenever I woke up from the meditation.
Wow.
What do you make of that?
I don't know, dude.
I need to look at that symbolism. Dude, I don't get meditations like that.
No, that's great, dude.
Hold on. And I swear I swear on everything I'm not making this up.
No, I believe you. I mean, why would you? You know what I mean? It's almost, I don't know. Why would you make that up? I don't know, man. That's wild.
Get out of here, dude.
The symbolism of the dove?
Doves symbolize peace, love, and freedom across various cultures and religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and paganism. In Christianity, they are often associated with the Holy Spirit and are featured in significant biblical stories such as Noah's Ark and the baptism of Jesus.
So you do have the Holy Spirit, dude.
Wow. I don't know what to do with that.
I think it goes to show that even though you're a heathen, you still got that spirit in you. You know what I mean? The same spirit that's in everybody. So.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Just from a personal level, it's crazy. You know?
No, that's a great meditation, man.
Oh my God.
I had nothing like that.
Kind of just
makes me wish I would have, though.
Kind of just makes me want to be better now.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
that's
I mean,
cool.
what
you got
on
exactly
your
what you got. That's the show. Fuck. I'm like, I had nothing interesting like that, dude. I wish I would have had something like that though.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. Wow.
I believe man.
You know what's funny too is that the Cathars didn't believe in a physical Jesus. They believed in an ethereal one.
Oh, really?
They believe that he exists outside of physical space and time.
I can get on board with that, dude. And I think, if you are putting your mind to him, and let's say you're in a meditation, or even I've experienced something before where just because that's where my mind was, right? And I was putting attention on, you know, the whole religion aspect of things and thinking of Jesus and all of that, and people say all these things, and I've had moments where, and just recently really, where I was almost asleep and I go, I always go into this weird place, man. Right before sleep, I get like this flickering effect. And it almost like scares me because it almost seems like it's not just me meditating super hard. Like I feel like it could be something like that shouldn't be happening, but it's like this little like flickering, almost like I imagine it's me going from being awake to like that in between of being awake and falling asleep, but as it's happening, I'm very conscious, but it's like this flickering. And then all of a sudden, right after that, I'm in this different like awareness, still conscious. Don't get me wrong, but it's almost like whenever you, let's say you're thinking of something in that moment when you're in that state of mind, you can almost manifest a dream. Like that's where the dream really starts to take place. And whatever is
Mm-hmm.
in your subconscious mind or whatever is was on your mind that day or that week or whatever starts to manifest whatever dream you're gonna have. And I feel like I don't know, it's super strange. Like you're accessing the loading screen of the Matrix. You know what I mean? It's like that in between. Okay, let's get this, let's grab this, and now let's go into the simulation or the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So it's this weird flickering thing, and then all of a sudden, whatever I'm thinking about, I feel like I could kind of manifest into what I'm seeing. And so, like, oftentimes, whenever that happens, I'll see like eyeballs or like, I can start to kind of see faces. And, I understand that there's, what is it, pareidolia. You know what I mean? You can see faces everywhere. I understand that. But this is different. This is like my mind creating faces, and so I don't know. I've
I
had experiences
actually,
like that where if I'm thinking like in that moment, if I was to say, okay, I'm going to let Jesus into my heart and think about Jesus, then I would probably see him, and I feel like I have seen a face that was because I was thinking about it. That could have been him. You know what I mean? But like, but I guess I can go with any ethereal being. If you start to, if I would have thought of Marv, in that state of mind, I'm sure I would have seen a tentacle like kind of on the side or, you know what I mean? Like, not
well, I
to
mean,
say that.
maybe it's up to us to kind of open that doorway
Mhm.
in that scene, because it's like, all right, kind of whenever you go to sleep and you're getting ready to have a dream, you're not really, you most of the time you're not trying to orchestrate a dream. It's just, whatever is kind of playing in the background,
Mhm.
it manifests in that dream kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if
Mhm.
you have the ability to kind of orchestrate it in a way, or at least push it and guide it in a certain direction,
Mhm.
then that might be the portal to that thing. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, I mean, spiritually, etherically, whatever you want to call it, but like
Mhm.
that might be the way of communicating with that thing that you're trying to communicate with.
Right.
And this is something that
Exactly.
like, this is what I think that like, oh shit, what's his name? Paramahansa Yogananda did with Sri
Mhm.
Yukteswar.
Right.
I think that that's what was really going on, because remember he was like in his hotel room or something like
Mhm.
that, and then Sri Yukteswar shows up. He's like, "What are you doing here?
Like
I went
in
to
the
your funeral."
physical, like he looked physical.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Mhm.
and was able to have full on conversation with him. Maybe it feels like you're making it up because you don't trust what's in your mind as valid. But
Mhm.
maybe like you guiding yourself through that portal, for a lack of a better word,
Mhm.
legit is the portal to connect with that side. Because
Right.
you think about it, how many people have had like weird prophetic dreams,
Yeah.
like strange things that happen
Oh
to
yeah.
them on psychedelics and whatnot. It's like, your mind is the first thing that kind of catches a hold of that,
Mhm. Yeah.
and maybe, and to be honest, bro, like my mind was still doing my mind things even whenever I was like up there with old Jesus, right? It was like,
Mhm.
dude, he pulled that bird back and I was like, man, I hope he doesn't eat it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I had that
Yeah.
weird thought, but it
Would have
doesn't
totally
mean,
ruined the whole vibe, I
but
think.
it was strange because I was having that thought as if I knew that was an external thought, like up against what was happening.
Right.
which is so strange. It was like a thought within a thought within a thought.
Yeah.
And so maybe there is a way. I don't know, dude. There might be something worth messing around with.
Well, I mean, that's the divine. That's your ability. We all have that ability, you know. And so, let's say you want to do some shadow work or whatever, and you go into that state of mind, and then you can choose an entity to communicate with, and that could be just the representation of the other side. So name whoever it is you want to be. Let's say you pick Jesus, and now you want to ask questions, and now maybe you're better connecting to your subconscious mind and really trying to hash out what's going on in your mind and trying to figure out, like, am I just crazy, and then you can get some type of information, and who knows what you get out of that, but that's that tapping into whatever that is, that all cultures seem to understand in some form or fashion.
And get messages from there.
Right.
That's,
which I think you got something out of that for sure. There's no way you didn't get some sort of message out of that.
Oh, absolutely not. If anything, it makes me want to dive into all the Gnostic writings. Because, like, I don't know. I mean, we got confirmation through the tarot, and then we got, I seemingly got some kind of, at least on a personal level, kind of confirmation as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be a fool not to try and dig a little deeper into that.
Well, you have to. You've gotten to a doorway, and so follow the breadcrumbs and see where that goes,
I mean, I don't know. I just don't believe in coincidences, bro.
No, I think you experienced exactly what you
like
need to. No,
my mind would not make something like that up. That was, dude, I didn't even know the fucking symbolism of a dove.
Right.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it's the Holy Spirit. What are the odds?
Of course it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a strange world we live in, man. So much more is possible than what we could ever really comprehend, I think.
This is my favorite dream of all time.
Aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just had a dream within a dream.
Dude.
Basically.
Yeah. This life is my favorite dream of all time, I think.
Yeah. It's the best one.
It's pretty fucking cool.
So far. Yeah. That's why we're here.
So fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, dude.
Holy shit. Literally.
It's fun. There's no way that I can explain or even want to go into what my meditation was, because it was absolutely nothing compared to what you just experienced. So
don't even compare it.
Literally, like, I didn't really have a super visceral experience at all. So we won't even go into it. We'll leave it at that.
But I mean, if you want to take us on that ride, let's go on that ride, baby girl.
There's not really a ride to go on, man. I was just chilling. So, and compared to what that was, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Yeah. Well,
let it rest.
Yeah, hopefully the one out there, I mean, hopefully people even listened this long into this episode, because it
was a long one.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up on 4 hours.
Oh shit.
It's been a long one.
Let's just pull an all-nighter, dude.
Why
See
not?
where it goes.
Let's just keep
It's
going.
just gonna get weirder as we go.
As Terrence McKenna said.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly. We're gonna have to start talking about it.
All right, the one out there, thank you so much for following us on this journey. Reach out to us if you had a crazy meditation or anything like that. I mean, of course, you're only gonna be able to tell us about your meditation by listening to the meditation, which is only on Patreon. Unfortunately, we can't put it on YouTube, can't put it on, the podcast or anything, because we don't want any kind of commercial interruption during a meditation, which is why we stopped doing it on the podcast. So, yeah, man, what a crazy night.
Good times, man.
Crazy night.
This is one of those episodes.
One of those episodes. Yeah, absolutely. This is like Anastasia level.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when it came to the tarot.
Yeah.
One of those. But better, I think.
Better. Yeah, that was introductory shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was baby shit. Baby shit.
Literally very mustard and pea green. But anyway, all right, the one. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.